Time for KMKT's Area High School Game of the Week, Texas style. Tonight, the Howe Bulldogs host the Bells Panthers. A game that will earn the winner a chance to play in the upcoming Texas high school playoffs. Tonight, KMKT's Area High School Game of the Week broadcast begins with our coach interviews. My first guest will be Bulldog coach Joey McQueen, followed by an interview with Coach Gary Reeves of the Bells Panthers. Tonight's pregame show will get underway in just a few more moments, right after we hear from some of our sponsors that is making this broadcast possible tonight. And welcome back to tonight's pregame show. Prior to our broadcast of our KMKT Area High School Football Game of the Week between the Bells Panthers and the Howe Bulldogs, Coach Joey McQueen of the Bulldogs joins me now. And, Coach, there's no sense really beating around the bush about it. This ball game is important for both teams. You have to win to get into the playoffs. And I guess being in this position at this time of the year is what it's all about.
It's going to be like we're already in the playoffs. Of course, whoever wins this game will be playing in the playoffs next week in bi-district. And when that situation comes up, especially the last game of the season, district play, you get excited, and we're ready for it. Hopefully the weather will be good.
Well, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this matchup, and it seems like they've been waiting for it from the very start of the season. Of course, I talk about that because of the fact that you come from Bells last year, and I get these words. I know I'm talking to you after last week's game, Coach McQueen. You don't have any animosity toward any of the people in Bells. In fact, you still have a lot of good friends there, and you really respect those players. And, I would hate to get this blown out of proportion as far as the media situation is concerned, making this something that it really isn't. There's no animosity there, is there?
No, sir, sure not. Like I said the other night, BK, all those kids over there, I know every one of them, and I still love every one of them. And there's a lot of friends over there that I still have. In fact, I just called some today and talked to them. And on my part, there's no ill feelings, and I don't think there is on their part. This is just a game that we're going to have to prepare for just like any other time. And when it comes down to 7:30, I think it'll be forgotten who coached where, and it'll be down to who wants it the most.
Well, I know that Coach Gary Reeves, he hasn't really mentioned anything about that. He's concerned about his Bells Panthers being able to beat your Bulldogs, and right now you're concerned about the Bulldogs and how they're going to play, and it looks like these two teams are going to match up very, very well, at least on paper. Last week, and I made this statement just a few moments ago during our Area High School Roundup show with Jeff Nelms, that a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't really give your ball club much of a chance to beat Bells, but after seeing your team play and shut down the high-flying offense of the Tom Bean Tomcats as you did last week, and watching you play against Pilot Point, you have got a great defensive unit, and it's going to take that kind of a unit to beat the Bells Panthers.
Yes, sir, you're right. Like we had stated before, our defense has been playing great all year, and I was kind of like you 4 weeks ago. I didn't know how good we were, and I knew how good we should be, but we just hadn't come around. And in the last 3 weeks, our offense has been coming together, and I'm really excited about it. Our kids, if they can't get fired up for a game like this, we don't need to be in the playoffs. But I really think that you're going to be excited, and the fans will also be too, for the way these two teams will play. And we're going to be out. We're going to be ready. 35
points has been your average over the last couple of games, 43 against Tom Bean, 27, I believe, against Callisburg. So your offense is beginning to gel somewhat, and it's certainly peaking at the right time, because you want your ball club to be at its best when it gets this time of the season, and you hope that the injury bug will stay away. And so far, that's been the case for you. I guess in this situation, everybody pretty well stayed healthy, and you were able to get into this position tonight.
Yes, sir. I think a few position changes in the backfield have really made a difference, and I think that was one key. And plus, like you said, we've had no injuries. So I guess the worst injury we've had was last Friday night against Tom Bean. Michael Bailey got a cut above his eye and had 30 stitches, and at this point right now, we don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. And he's a big loss for us, but if we depend on one person like that, and we're in bad shape. We're going to miss the young man if he can't play, but at the same time, if he doesn't play, well, we're going to be ready and prepared with the backups we have in there.
Well, Coach, I've got to apologize, especially to Michael Bailey. Last week, I had been given the number of 21 that he would be wearing, and I believe he ended up wearing number 22, which might or might not have been his real number, but I didn't know who he was for a while, and certainly I want to apologize to Michael for that. But, boy, he played an excellent ball game last week, no question about that, and he got the injury that you talked about, but it didn't seem to slow him down. He came back in the second half and played, and this guy's a tough kid.
Yes, he really is. Michael's only a junior, and he only weighs about 145 pounds, 150 pounds. And if everyone on our team had a heart the size of Michael's, well, we'd be in the running for the state championship. Michael just does a great job for us, and like you said, he got hurt the second play of the ball game, and the cut that I saw, I wouldn't even want to go back in there. But we have Ricky Ate from Grayson Sports Medicine that works with us, and he does a great job, and he got it stopped from bleeding, and then he patched it up, and Michael was ready to get back in. And I think he could be possibly ready, but, as of right now, he's not, and we're just hoping he is.
All right, Coach, let me ask you a little bit of in the area of your fullback. Now, you did make a change. You told me that Domingo Rivera would be in at fullback for John Norwood. Now, was I right or wrong? I didn't see too much of Domingo Rivera back there. I saw more of John Norwood last week.
Well, Domingo is our starting fullback, but the situation last week was that Domingo kind of had a little strained knee, and of course, when we got ahead, well, we decided to go ahead and let John play the rest of the game because of that knee, because Domingo's a big part of our team, and we're just hoping that we could rest it, and so it'd be ready for this week.
All right, any other injuries, Coach, that maybe took place in the Tom Bean game or during practice this week? Everybody pretty healthy still?
Yes, sir, we're still pretty healthy, and no injuries Friday night and none this week so far, and we're just looking forward to being there and playing the best we can with these young men.
And our pregame show with head coach Joey McQueen of the Howe Bulldogs will continue after these words. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about this Bells Panther team that you will be playing. How do you stop this offense led by Jason Smith, who we both agree is a great quarterback, a great athlete, and he's got some good guys around him. They seem to really be a little bit more solidified in their offense than they do their defense, although their defense is not that bad.
Well, when we had our meeting on Sunday afternoon on trying to figure out how to stop them, our defensive coordinator said we need to pray a lot. And, of course, we are getting prepared to try to stop it. Their main plays are their outside veer and their counter dive, and then Jason Smith does such a great job of faking those plays and standing up and hitting the receivers on passes. So we are trying to prepare for those main things, and hopefully some of the things that we throw at them will work.
Coach, it looked to me like the couple of times that I have seen Bells play, if they do have a weakness defensively, it's to the outside. They don't seem to have the great speed to stop a good team with great speed to the outside. Will you be testing that area quite a bit?
Well, we're going to try to test everything. Of course, their main part of their defense is their interior T&T, nose tackle, and two tackles. They all average about 220 pounds. Their linebackers are young men, and, of course, they're not as experienced as some of the other linebackers in the district, but they've got pretty good quickness. Then, like you said, maybe if they do have a weakness, it might be the outside, and we're going to try to test everything. We've got the inside, the outside, the passing, and everything, and we're going to see what works, and we'll take whatever works.
Well, certainly the setting is is going to be quite nice. That stadium is going to be absolutely packed full of people, and for it to mean as much as it means, and I'm speaking of this ball game itself, the winner going to the playoffs, the loser, I guess, has to think about basketball season.
Yes, sir, you're right. And hopefully, Coach Reeves and I were talking the other day, and we're going to, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a good sportsmanship game, and athletically wise, it's going to be a great game because there's some good athletes on both sides. But, right now we're looking forward to playing in that bi-district game against hopefully Salina.
One thing about it, Coach, you're playing in Bulldog Stadium, and, of course, that's always a tough place to play. We talked about this following the game last week with Tom Bean. Your team, your defense, has given up but 7 points on your home field this year, and I know that pride that they have in their heart for doing that is going to have to be a big part of their game plan tonight, is to keep, of course, Bells out of that end zone.
Yes, sir, you're right. you know, when you're playing at your home field where you hope you have an advantage just because of the great fan support that we here at Howe have had this year, and we're hoping that it continues, and I know it will, and I know the people over at Bells, they'll have a great supporting crowd coming over, and they'll be out ready to win it because, you know, they want to win and show people that they can compete in 2A, and apparently they can. They've already won 8 games and only lost 1, so we're going to hope that we can just give them a good game.
Good luck tonight, Coach, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the ball game.
Thank you, BK.
And our pregame show will continue in just a moment. I'll be back with the head coach of the Bells Panthers, Coach Gary Reeves, and we'll talk about the other side of this football game right after these words. And welcome back to our pregame show prior to tonight's KMKT's area high school game of the week between the Howe Bulldogs and the Bells Panthers. With me now is Bells head coach Gary Reeves, and well, Coach, just like I talked to Coach McQueen a moment ago, this is a very important game to say the least. The winner certainly continues to play while the loser, I guess, puts on those basketball uniforms, and I know that's not what you would like to do after this game tonight.
Well, that's right, BK. We want to keep playing next week. That's what, you know, that's the reason you play the game. And, you know, quite honestly, I believe if you didn't have an opportunity to be in the playoffs every year, I don't know whether I'd even play it or not. But that's the absolute fact there. We got to win a ball game tonight, or we have to hang them up for the year. So, yeah, it's awfully important to us.
Well, you didn't really have much of a problem last week, and I don't think you really anticipated on having too much of a problem. But I had the, I guess, the good fortune of seeing the Howe Bulldogs and that great defense, how they shut down the Tom Bean offense. And you already played the Tom Bean Tomcats. You win pretty handily. But this is a pretty impressive bunch as far as defensively, because they really did just absolutely shut down Tom Bean. So that's got to really concern you.
Well, it does. You know, we've known all year they've had a good defensive football team, and of course they were coming back with very few starters back from last year and kind of a whole new group of kids that were very successful at the junior varsity level, and we figured that when the year started that they would be a little slow getting started there in the early ball games, but by the time we got to them, the 10th game, well, they'd be as good as anyone around, and that's certainly come to be true, I think. And Howe defensively has as good a defense probably as we played against, other than maybe Pilot Point, and we had an awful hard time moving the football against them too. So it's going to be a big challenge for our offense, and you know, Howe's really come along here in the last 3 or 4 weeks with their offense too, and they're playing good football right at the time they need to be.
Okay, Coach, let's talk about that offense that you have going up against this Bulldog defense that has been playing so well. You going to make any changes? You feel like you're going to have to do something maybe different as far as moving the football, coming up with a few tricks out of the old bag there, and seeing if they're going to be able to produce, or are you just going to have to try to play solid, hard-nosed football?
Well, we're going to have to play solid. I think that's the main thing we're going to try to do. We're going to try to, how we got there is what we're going to try to do, you know, tonight with them, and I feel like we've got to be successful running the football so we'll be able to throw it some. I think our throwing game is set up from a running game, and we've got to be able to run the football some. And, of course, that's probably their strong suit, is they shut down the run as well as anybody does. And I know they're experienced against some very teams there as far as their defensive coaches are concerned, and that concerns us. But we're going to have to just line up and do a good job executing and blocking, and then hopefully we'll, you know, a little later be able to throw the football some.
Now, Coach, I got to believe, as much importance as there is in this football game to the winner, that you've got to have a few little tricks that you can fall back on just in case things don't work out the way you thought they might.
And I tell you what, you know, this is our first year over here, and we're trying to run some base stuff here and just get some things going. You know, everybody's always got something that they haven't used maybe yet, but as far as, you know, trick plays, I'm not much of a trick play coach. I can't ever dream up anything that's very... We're just pretty well going to try to run a very offense, you know, and we may need to use some stuff that we haven't used this year yet, as far as just, you know, little things, just little bitty adjustments on different areas of the veer. But we're basically going to line up there and run what we always run, you know, and that's counter dive and outside veer in the running game, and then try to throw the football off play action passes. And that's what got us down the road as far as we've gotten now, and it has in the past whenever I was coaching. And we feel like we're going to try to stay at that and just try to execute it.
Okay. My interview with head coach Gary Reeves of the Bells Panthers will continue after these Bells sponsor messages. Team in the state of Texas. All right, Coach, let's get back to this interview, and I guess defensively you got to feel like your ball club is going to have to play their best ball game. Maybe going back to Pilot Point, you felt that way, but certainly this ball game means even more so than that Pilot Point game because this one gets you into the playoffs. Now, I know that you've had a little bit of a problem with some of the teams you've played that has great outside speed, and this has got to concern you with Howe because they do have some pretty good outside speed.
Well, they do. They've been running the football well, and I think they've settled in there and done some good stuff out of their wing T offense, and it's really started to come around for them, and they run the football real strong, and that's, running right at us is probably their best bet, and of course they line up in a one-back set, and spread you all over the field too, and they've done that in the past very successfully, and I know Coach McQueen has used that over here at Bells last year, too, and that's certainly a part of his offense that we have to be concerned about.
Okay, they have changed in their offensive alignment at fullback. They've got Domingo Rivera, and this guy looks like he's a much better blocker maybe than, of course, John Norwood. But Norwood and Rivera, they really complement one another. Their blocking ability is what really looks good, and that's what's impressive. So if they get the ball to Michael Bailey or to Michael Ross, and they've got that guy running in front of them, you really got to take care of that blocker some way or another.
Well, that's true. I think they got a couple of good-sized backs there that are around 190 and 200. They'll do a good job blocking and do a good job of just power running right at you on trap and stuff. And that's something you always have to be concerned about. It's a big back. You've got to hit them and hang on till you get help. And then we just feel like you need to be in the right place and hope that each youngster there handles his assignment pretty well and that he's at least in the area and can help out and also hold him up where he can get some help there too to help him.
Well, your down lineman's going to have to play really well, but I think more than anything, your linebackers and your cornerbacks are going to have to really protect and get up on the line of scrimmage quickly when they see the ball coming to either the left or the right. But these guys have got to be able to really react quickly because they do have a very quick set of running backs, and they get off the ball well with their offensive line.
Well, I think so. I think, everything we've seen them do offensively, they've, Coach McQueen and his staff done a good job of doing what they do well and not trying to do some things that they're not really capable of doing well, and that's what I see them doing is lining up and running the football at you, and they'll put the sweep on you, and they'll run the ball right up the pipe on you. So you're pretty well forced to cover all aspects of the running game, and that's a good offensive football team, and they're able to do that. And then they don't throw the ball badly either. They've improved their throwing game too. So we've got a full load defensively, and I don't think you can concentrate on one thing. You try to slow them down a little bit and keep them in front of you, and hope you don't give up big plays.
All right, Coach, before I let you go, how about the field condition? I know it's going to be a little muddy out there with all the rain that we've got, and I guess it's equal for both teams. However, with your quarterback, Jason Smith, and being the kind of guy he is, he seems, and he always, this is what impresses me about him, is he just doesn't get ruffled. It doesn't seem like anything really bothers him. And in a situation when the field is like it is, and you've got a guy like that leading your ball club, that's got that kind of confidence, really that may be a big plus for you.
Well, I think so. I think Jason's experience there at quarterback certainly helps out a lot, and he doesn't seem to lose his cool on things, keeps things pretty well under control, and there's going to be errors made in any football game, and there's nothing you can do about them after they happen. You just have to go on and see what you can do in front of you. You can't help on past mistakes. So, I think Jason's a good one to have there. The muddy part of the field there, as far as it being muddy and all, then that's probably a little bit of an advantage to them. As far as just running the football, we're going to need to be able to throw it and run the veer and stuff. You got to be able to pitch the ball some too. So, those things kind of favor them to a certain extent. And I'm hoping the field's in good shape over there, and I've heard that their turf's a good turf to play on. So, I don't think the field will be a big factor in the ball game. I think it may be as important in the kicking game as anything.
Well, Coach, good luck tonight. Looking forward to talking to you or Coach McQueen, whichever one of you coaches are fortunate enough to win this football game. Actually, it's going to be the players to win it, and that's the guys that I guess all the congratulations need to go to. But it should be a fantastic football game and one that I'm going to enjoy calling tonight.
All right, well, we look forward to playing it, I guarantee you.
I was Coach Gary. Got to believe. Kathy Waltrip and all of the good evening, everyone. We welcome you to Bulldog Stadium here in Howe, Texas, for tonight's ball game between the Howe Bulldogs and, of course, those Bells Panthers. It should be a great football game, one that everybody has been waiting for quite some time. Have a beautiful night. Didn't look like it was going to be this way yesterday, but it's really turned out to be quite nice, and I think we're going to have just an excellent, excellent football game between two fine football teams. Big crowd on hand. Couldn't ask for anything better. On the field tonight is Craig Sifney, and we're going to be checking with Craig. Craig, how you doing? It's a great night down there.
A beautiful night, BK, for football. You're exactly right. It's not too cool. It's just cool enough. There's not much wind. There was a little bit of wind before game time when the teams were on the field warming up. The wind has died considerably and left us with nothing but a beautiful night for football.
Well, I know one thing. I'm excited. The fans are excited. The players are excited. And I know the coaches are because we've talked to them. And I guess we're going to be able to talk to each one of them going off at halftime and coming back on for the second half.
We hope to. And this is what football is all about, especially at the high school level. You love to get in this kind of situation if you're a coach. You've got one game that either makes you or breaks you and gets you into the playoffs unless you're a team that's very strong like Pilot Point and are already there. And that's what it's about for these teams and these coaches, that if they win, they're in the playoffs. If they don't, they're not. So two teams equally wanting to go in the same direction, but only one going to be successful in winning tonight and going on to the playoffs.
Okay, Craig, we'll be checking with you throughout this ball game, and certainly glad to have you on with our broadcast crew tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, let me give you the starting lineup. First of all, for the Bells Panthers, and of course they will be dressed in their maroon uniforms with that maroon helmet, white jerseys. And, of course, they have a record of 8-1, as we've talked about during the pregame show. And the winner of this ball game, of course, will meet probably the Salina Bobcats, but they could meet either Van Alstyne or Farmersville, depending on what happens in Salina tonight. But it looks like it probably will be Coach G.A. Moore's Salina Bobcats. Okay, the Bells Panther offense looks like this. At center will be number 50, Bobby Griffiths. He's a 240-pound junior. The guards, number 63, Michael Griffiths, a 220-pound senior, and number 52, Ricky Good, a 195-pound senior. The tackles, number 74, Jeff Taylor, 225-pounder. He's a senior. The other tackle is number 70, Chris Brown, a 155-pound senior. The split end will be number 12, Brett Little, a 170-pound junior. The tight end, number 81, Chip Smith, a 170-pound junior. In the backfield for the Bells Panthers will be number 10, at quarterback, Jason Smith, 205-pound senior, one of the best athletes that I've seen this year, bar none. The fullback, number 30, Jason Waltrip, a 175-pound senior. The other running back, number 35, David Cheatham, a 145-pound senior. In the slot will be number 1, Wesley Miller, a 136-pound senior. Of course, the Bells Panthers once again 8-1, and of course, in district play, they've only lost the one game, and that was to the Pilot Point Bearcats, who have won this district. And these two teams, of course, battling it out for the second place position in the playoffs. The Howe Bulldog defense looks like this. The tackles, at left tackle, number 66, Jason Mitchison, a 185-pound sophomore. The right tackle, number 56, Daniel Williams, a 170-pound senior. The ends will be Jerry Powell, a 165-pound senior. And at right end will be Chris Hartwell. He is a 165-pound senior. The linebackers will be number 42, Monty Walker, a 200-pound junior, and John Norwood, number 32, a 185-pound senior. The nose guard is number 64, Kevin Gray, a 175-pound senior. At corner will be number 16, Matt Cavender on the left side. He's a 150-pound senior. Number 20 on the right side will be Sean Stevenson, a 165-pound senior. The safeties, at left safety will be number 11, Scott Grogan, 145-pound junior, and the right safety, number 7, Wade Carson, a 160-pound senior. We'll be back in just a moment with the kickoff after these messages. You're listening to the Area Game of the Week here on KMKT 104.9 FM. We're back live in Howe, Texas for tonight's big 11-2A matchup between the Bells Panthers and the Howe Bulldogs. Craig, it looks like the Bulldogs will be receiving
the flag on the south end of the field is not moving whatsoever.
Well, Chip Smith will be kicking off for the Bells Panthers as we get ready for action here. All we need is the official's whistle, and we'll be underway. Back deep to receive the kick for the Howe Bulldogs. Well, it's not going to go deep. It's going to go to number 14, who fills the ball at about the 20 up to near the 30-yard line. He actually was tackled at about the 28-yard line by the guy that kicked off, and that was Chip Smith. And number 20 was the man running the ball back for the Howe Bulldogs, and that was Sean Stevenson. So from that point, it's first down and 10 for the black and white Bulldogs, dressed in an all-black uniform except for their numbers, which are white. Of course, they've got the black helmets with a big H on the side, almost like the Permian Panthers of Odessa. And, of course,
we'll find out here in just a moment how the Bulldogs and Bells Panthers are going to end up as far as the regular season. Will one of them be in the playoffs? Certainly one of them will be. Here's Wade Carson, the quarterback. Will hand it off and right up the middle, and that's going to be getting to the outside, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to 45, down to the 40, to 35, the 30-yard line in Bell's territory. And let's check the man. That's Michael Ross with a football. And what a game he had last week against the Tom Bean Tomcats. Took me a moment there to pick up who was carrying the football, but that was designed, it looked like, Craig, to go over left tackle, and somehow or another he got to the outside.
It was, BK, exactly. It was supposed to go over Monty Brown, and Monty Brown was kicking out on defensive tackle Michael Griffiths, and it was a beautiful block, and Michael Ross just exploited the big hole and just rumbled all the way down the right side of the field.
It was Damian Harden and Monty Brown opening up the hole, and it was, of course, Michael Ross taking all the advantage of it. It'll be first down and 10. The ball is at the Bells' 28-yard line as Wade Carson has them back to the line of scrimmage, and now we have some kind of a timeout on the play prior to everything getting underway. They have a wide receiver out to the near side. That's Joey McMillian setting up in between the tight end and McMillian will be number 20. That will be Sean Stevenson. Now we have a flag on the play. Craig, what was that all about?
It was an illegal procedure, I believe, on the left side of the offensive line, so that's going to step off the Howe Bulldogs 5 yards after the fine run by Ross, which is quite unfortunate after all this momentum such early in the game. But hopefully maybe the Howe Bulldogs will be able to rebound.
Going to the wide side now as, well, actually, he's setting up. Now he comes to the wide side. In motion is Joey McMillian. Setting up in between will be Sean Stevenson. Split backfield for the Howe Bulldogs. Hand off, and that's going to go to Domingo Rivera. He'll get about 1 yard on the play, and let's check that. Was that Domingo or number 32? It was John Norwood on the carry and not Domingo Rivera. And as I understand, Domingo had been injured with some kind of a leg problem in the last game of the Tom Bean, or rather, with Tom Bean, and he really didn't play all that much. It'll bring up second down, about 14 still needed for the Howe Bulldogs as we're just underway. 11-16 to play in the first quarter, no score. 11-2A action here on KMKT 104.9, our game of the week. Coming to the near side is Joey McMillian as a wide receiver, and we still have problems at the line of scrimmage. It seems like we're never going to get this ball game underway. Now everything is set. Split backfield, man in the slot. Here's Wade Carson handing it off to the right side this time, and he won't go anywhere. That's Michael Ross. Good pursuit that time by the Bells defense. And Craig, that time they didn't let him get to the outside as Brett Pierce was there to make the tackle for the Bells Panthers.
They sure didn't, and the Bells Panthers are really starting to pursue on the ball after they gave up the big run to the offense and Michael Ross on the first series. Now it's just all defense by the Panthers as the Howe Bulldogs are just simply going backwards, and it's third and about 14.5 yards for the first down.
So after the great run to start this ball game by Michael Ross, the Howe Bulldogs have found a little tough going now as the Bells Panthers defense has stiffened up just a bit. Wade Carson still the quarterback, split backfield to the wide receivers comes Joey McMillian. Here's Carson, fakes to the left, now rolls out, looks downfield, he's got a rush coming, throws, it's going to be incomplete. It was intended for John Norwood. Coming out of the backfield, back defending for the Bells Panthers was Jason Brogdon. Incomplete pass, bring up fourth down and 10, or actually fourth down and 14 for the Howe Bulldogs. So, Craig, looks like the Bells Panthers, after that first play, really got their act together defensively.
They sure did, and the reason that play, BK, worked so well for the defense is Ricky Good, the nose guard, just sliced right through the offensive line and pursued on the quarterback and just rushed him, and he had to force the ball incomplete.
And it looks like Sean Stevenson will be standing at about his 47-yard line to get this football away as the punter gets a good snap and his toe into it, a high spiraling kick that'll be caught in the end zone, and coming out with it up to the 15, up to about the 10-yard line, not the 15. I can't believe he run that ball out. He must have not really knew where he was at, Craig. That was almost a real big mistake by the Bells Panthers.
It sure was. It was almost a very dangerous play. Bobby Griffiths, who normally plays center, I don't know if you saw it up in the booth, the ball was fumbled, and Griffiths was there on about the 10-yard line to cover it for Bells, and what a big mistake that could have been for the Panthers.
Well, you're not kidding there. I thought he was... I didn't think he was going to run the ball out, but he did. At any rate, it's first down and 10 for the Bells Panthers. The first time they've had the football, first down and 10. The ball is just outside the 10, it looks like, from here. Here's the handoff up the middle, and that's going to be David Cheatham. Nowhere to go, as it was number 56, Daniel Williams, the right tackle, making first contact for the Bulldog defense. A gain of maybe 1 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. And Craig, this Bulldog defense has proven to be one of the best defenses in the district, and they're going to have to play that way tonight against the Bells Panthers offense.
A very good point, BK, because one reason is the Bells offensive line is absolutely huge. They're averaging about 220 pounds on offense as the line, and the defensive line for Howe is quite considerably smaller.
Jason Smith, the quarterback, will have him to the line. Handoff up the middle, and it looked like he was climbing a mountain as the running back, number 20, Justin Behrens, had the football, and it looked like he was just walking up the mountaintops, but somebody from Bells hit him up around chest high and brings him down at about the 15-yard line. Kind of a unique play there, Craig.
A lot of physical play going on deep inside in the trenches, and that's what I think each team was trying to exploit early on in this game. How the inside running game will work, possibly maybe trying to set up the outside running game later in the game, but it's been up the middle so far for each team.
Coming wide to the near side is Wesley Miller as a wide receiver. 3rd down and 5. Here's the quarterback option, and this is going to be Jason Smith getting the first down across the 20 out to near the 25-yard line, and that's what Jason Smith does so well, is run the option. It looked like, Craig, he was in trouble right after the fake of the handoff, and somehow he got out of it. Daniel Williams finally made the tackle, but not before Bells has a first down.
I think you're right in saying that Jason Smith was in trouble. Jerry Powell, the left defensive end, was coming strong on the defensive blitz, sensing, I think, that the play was coming his way. It was just a great move by the quarterback Smith to get the extra yards for the first down on a critical 3rd down play.
Set the offense for you. Split backfield. Wide receiver to the left side. Wesley Miller. Here's the quarterback handing it off up the middle, and a good hole that time across the 30 to the 34-yard line goes Jason Waltrip as he followed Michael Griffiths on that left side. Kevin Gray and John Norwood makes the tackle, but not before a good gain of about 7 or 8 yards on the play by Jason Waltrip. Craig?
Ricky Good and Bobby Griffiths, the center and the right guard, really the key to that play in giving Jason Waltrip a clear hole up the middle to gain a nice gain of about 8 yards. 2nd down and 2 now, BK.
Bells averages about 217 pounds a man in that offensive line, so they're a big bunch, and they can move the football pretty well on the ground. Here's the quarterback, Jason Smith, wants to throw, can't do it, as number 65 grabbed him up around the arm. Chris Hartwell got in there in a hurry, and as he cocked the arm to throw the football, Hartwell got the right arm. It's really a wonder that he did not fumble the football, Craig.
Hartwell was all over the quarterback that time. I think
needed for the first down for the Bells Panthers. As coming out to the near side is a wide receiver, Wesley Miller. Also in between him will be number 81, Chip Smith. We have a split backfield as the quarterback, Jason Smith, bark signals, hands it off here. Here's a big hole, and this is going to be a big gain down to the 40, the 45, the 50, down to the 40-yard line. And that's going to be Jason Waltrip with the football. He was brought down finally by number 24 for the Bells, or rather for the Howe Bulldogs. And I'm trying to find number 24 on my spotter sheet, and I have not been able to find it. It could have been 44. Was it 44 that made the tackle, Craig?
I'm not exactly sure who made the tackle, but more importantly than the tackle, there's a flag down about the 45-yard line of Bells. We'll have to wait and see what the call was. You have to hope, if you're the Bells coach, that it doesn't negate the fine run by Waldrop, but we'll wait for the signal.
Well, it was Damian Harden who made the tackle for the Howe Bulldogs, but it looks like it's going to go against the Bulldogs, Craig, so that gain will stand. Good run by Jason Waltrip of about 31 yards.
It's like we talked about before the game, BK. It's going to be very important for the running game to be established early on, and we talked that the first team to be able to do that may get the upper hand in this game. The first series, Howe brought the ball down the field very nicely, but stalled out due to the Panther defense. And now Bells is coming back very strong, and they've done it just running the ball up and down the field. And with the penalty, BK, this is going to be very devastating as far as the defense goes for Howe. The ball is going to be moved all the way down to the 21-yard line of the Howe Bulldogs.
That's where it is, and I take it was a personal foul, right, Craig?
Yes, it was, and we're not exactly sure who it was on. I think it may have gone against someone in the defensive backfield. I'm not quite sure.
Thank you very much, Craig. First down and 10 for the Bells Panthers as they break the huddle to have the ball just outside the Howe Bulldog 21-yard line. As Jason Smith, the quarterback, has them back to the line of scrimmage. Split backfield. Here's Jason Smith running the option to the left side. He gets by one tackler. That was number 66, I believe, in the backfield, or number 65, Chris Hartwell, and he let him get away, but number 55 comes in to wrap him up. That was Jerry Powell. Only a short gain of about a yard or two on the play, bring up second down and 9. Actually, only 1 yard gain by Jason Smith on the option. Well, this Bulldog defense has proven all year long that they can certainly stop just about any offense. In fact, they played the Pilot Point Bearcats as close as anybody this year. Had them held to a 0-0 tie, I believe, at halftime, if I remember correctly. And, well, actually, it was 7-7 maybe at halftime. At any rate, they only give up the 24 points to Pilot Point in that game, and that's about the least amount of points Pilot Point has scored this year. Here's the option play to the left side this time, and Jason Smith cannot go anywhere as he was hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be Chris Hartwell, the man to make the tackle first, 165-pound senior, and this Hartwell kid has been in on a lot of plays tonight, Craig, already.
Hartwell doing an outstanding job, and a lot of people talk about the 20-yard line in as being the red area as far as the defense is concerned, and you spoke about how good Howe's defense has been able to contain teams when they get inside that area, and right now the ball is lying about the 19-yard line, so let's see how the Howe Bulldogs stand up.
Well, a big play here. Third down and 9. The ball at the 21-yard line. Here's Jason Smith, straight back to pass, getting a rush. Now throws, and it's going to be incomplete as Smith was hit tremendously hard by number 20 who'd come in on the blitz. That was Sean Stevenson, and the pass was really not on target at all, and it was because of the big rush, Craig.
It sure was. Chris Hartwell, we keep saying it, here he is again, getting into the backfield to rush the pass by Jason Smith. Also became a problem. The field may be a little slippery as we have had some rain this week. Brett Little tried to stop and come back for that ball and slipped and fell. Otherwise, who knows, he may have been able to catch it.
Brett Little will be holding, and Chip Smith will be attempting a field goal to try to put the Bells Panthers on the board. It'll be spotted at the 25-yard line, a 35-yard effort. Snap back, kick on the way. It's high, it's long, and it's good. 35-yard field goal by Chip Smith has put the Bells Panthers up by a score of 3-0 with 4:58 to play in the first quarter. You're listening to the KMKT Area High School Game of the Week, and we'll be back in just a moment. At number 44, running it back, is James Fulenchek up near the 31-yard line. There he's going to be hit and brought down by number 83, it looked like from here. Chad Vick, I believe, was the tackler on the play. At any rate, he's changed numbers. If you're looking on your roster down there, Craig, he's changed numbers from 21 to 71.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't have you on. At any rate, it's first down and 10 for the Howe Bulldogs as they come to the line of scrimmage, trailing in this ballgame, 3-0. Coming to the near side is a wide receiver, is Joey McMillian. Here's the handoff up the middle, and about 3 yards gained on the play before number 52 makes the tackle for the Bells Panthers. That will be Ricky Good on the tackle, and the running back that time looked like number 34, and that would be Domingo Rivera. Okay, now we've got everything ready, Craig. I believe you can talk now.
An interesting point. You were saying there are some number changes. Some of the players wearing different numbers than what we have been told. And once again, on that first play by Howe, just straight ahead football, running up the middle behind the offensive line.
Second down and 7, split backfield, 2 wide receivers. Here's Carson back to pass, throws into the flat. That's Joey McMillian. He's got it up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Not much gained on the play. Sean Stevenson, or rather Justin Barron's, making the tackle for the Bells Panthers. And a gain of about 3, bring up third down. Let's call it a gain of 4 and bring up third down and 4. Craig, that time just a little quick pass out into the flat there, and they were hoping that Joey McMillian might be able to break a tackle and go a long way. He's got lots of speed.
Well, what you said was hope he could break a tackle. Justin Barron's made a beautiful open field one-on-one tackle that may have saved a large gainer.
Third down facing the Howe Bulldogs. 3:40 left to play in the first quarter. 3-0 is our score with Bells having the lead. Here's the handoff. Domingo Rivera will be hit almost at the line of scrimmage, and it was a good tackle made by number 32, Jason Brockton. He had some help also from Jason Waldrop, but this Bells defense is looking pretty strong right now, Craig.
Bells defense looking incredibly strong. It's going to bring up another fourth down, this time about 4th and 2, with the ball deep in his own territory. Howe head coach Joey McQueen, I don't think risking it or wanting to risk it this early on in the game.
So number 12 for the Howe Bulldogs will be in punt formation, and I'll try to get the, not sure who number 12 is. Here's the punt, high spiraling kick. It's going to be fair caught, or at least attempted to be fair caught, and is by number 23, Justin Harris. So from that point, it'll be first down and 10 for the Bells Panthers. That was a nice punt, Craig.
Very nice punt, and when you get yourself down in your deep end of the field that way and you get a fourth down, it's very critical that you have a punter that can get the ball out of your own end of the field, and that's exactly what the Bells, or pardon me, that's what Bells is faced with right now, is having the ball deep in their own end of the field, down around the 21-yard line as it stands right now.
All right, thank you very much. I thought it was number 12, but it was not. It was number 42, the punter. That was Monty Walker. So I apologize for that as the Bells Panthers come back to the line of scrimmage. And they lead in this game by a score of 3-0. Jason Smith has them to the line, split backfield as he brings them up with one wide receiver to the right side. Bows under that center. That's Bobby Griffiths. Rolls to the right on the option play. He has number 35 following him. He pitches to David Cheatham, but nowhere to go, as that play was read nicely by the Bulldog defense. Number 44 over there first to run him out of bounds. And that looked like James Mullencheck, Craig, but the option play just didn't work that time. Jason Smith kept it as long as he could before pitching, but David Cheatham had no place to go.
Very nice pursuit that time by the Howe defense, and that's what it's going to take. They didn't quite have enough pursuit to slow down the offensive attack on the last series, thus resulting in Bell's three-point field goal to take this lead.
So the Panthers come out of the huddle. Brett Little will be a wide receiver to the far side. Split backfield. Here's Jason Smith. Straight back to pass. Throws one in the flat, and it's out of the reach of the intended receiver, Wesley Miller, who made about a 5-yard step downfield and then toward the out-of-bounds line. And the pass was a little bit out of his reach that time, Craig, and it looks like maybe Jason, it's going to take a little while for him to get warmed up, but he has got a great arm.
He does have a great arm. He just showed it on that previous play. I think it may be a combination of two things. A very intense Jason Smith playing in a very important game, and it may be his nerves, and maybe he just needs to get warmed up. We'll see.
2:06 to play, first quarter. 3-0 is our score. The Panthers have the lead, and a split backfield, quarterback sneak, and this is going to be Jason Smith twisting and turning and getting it up to about the 29-yard line. He almost caught the Howe Bulldog defense sleeping a little bit there and nearly picked up the first down. Wade Carson had to make the tackle, but it will bring up fourth down. As Jason didn't quite get the first down, he lacked about 2 yards, has to get to the 32. He's near the 30, so more like 3 yards, Craig. That almost was a surprise for the Howe defense.
I think possibly a very good call on head coach Gary Reeves' part.
Yeah, they don't want to take anything or any unnecessary chances is what I'm trying to say. Here's a snap back to the punter. Brett Little gets his toe into it, and it's going to be fielded at the 41-yard line and brought down there quickly by Bobby Griffiths. Wow. Number 11, who fielded the ball, Scott Grogan, he was hit almost immediately, Craig.
I talked about the intensity level in this game, BK, and Bobby Griffiths, a perfect example that time as he was hustling down the field on the kicking coverage, really laid a stick on the return man and thus limiting the return only to about 2 or 3 yards. But for the first time this evening, Howe Bulldogs will start with very good field position on their own 42-yard line.
They got the big run early in the ball game by Michael Ross, and since that time, the Panther defense has almost just stymied the Bulldog offense completely. Here's the handoff, goes up the middle. That is Michael Ross as he followed Monty Brown on that left side, and he's going to be hit after about a 1 or 2 yard gain. Looked like Michael Griffiths on the tackle for the Bells Panthers. I want to thank many of our sponsors from Howe tonight. Jerry Justice Siding, Chuck Ross Insurance over in Pottsboro wanted to be a sponsor for this big ball game for both teams. The Howe State Bank, of course, always backing the Howe Bulldogs. Thomas and Oil Company, don't forget those guys with Tommy Mart Stores. They have over 10 locations, and they're backing each of these teams and wish both of them a lot of success. As Wade Carson has him back to the line, roll out to the right. He's going to keep the ball. He's up to the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, breaks the tackle to the 43-yard line. Nice run of the option play that time by Wade Carson. As he was running, he faked it to the trailing back, Michael Bailey, as if he was going to flip it back to him, and then headed up the field, and it was almost a much bigger gainer than what he got, even though he did pick up about 15 yards on the play in the first down. The best play of the night, other than that first run, Craig.
Exactly, BK. Wade Carson, you said, you put it perfectly. He made a beautiful fake that created that large hole on the right side to give him such great yardage around the right end.
Ball at the 43-yard line. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Coming to the near side is a wide receiver, Joey McMillian. Here's Wade Carson. Will hand it off, and this is going to be Domingo Rivera trying to get some room, and does after he made the cut back across the grain. He gets it inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. There on the tackle was Ricky Good, for the Bells Panthers, but a good gain of about 4 yards on the play, Craig, and it looks like this Howe offense is beginning to get something together.
Maybe they just needed to get things started up, and it just didn't happen due to the good play of the Bells defense early in the game. But I think you may be right that they might have gotten the chinks out of the armor and finally gotten things rolling. A nice run for Rivera that time, and if you can get 4 or 5 yards of pop like he just did, then you're going to have a big night, and I think that's what it's going to take for Joey McQueen and his team, because this game is so big that each player has to put in such a large effort to add to a win, which both teams have to have.
That is going to do it for the first quarter of play, and I'll tell you what, we need to get in some sponsors, but it looks like they're not going to give us the full timeout, Craig, so let's keep it here just for a moment. Let me go over some of our sponsors as I was about to do prior to that last play. Play 3-0, 12 minutes here as we begin the second quarter, and we already have a flag on the play, Craig. Looks like illegal procedure is going to be the call against the Bulldogs, and so on 2nd and 6, that was a real big penalty because now it puts them at 2nd and 11.
A very costly play, and I think you were right. It was the right side of the line. I believe it was Trey Diedman who had the movement penalty called against him, and it's very unfortunate because it was 2nd and 6, and now it walks the ball off all the way for 5 yards and now brings up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, this puts your offense in a real bind now because you're going to have to come up with a big play here just to get in first down position on 3rd down. At any rate, Michael Ross moving around in the backfield now sets up the side Domingo Rivera. Here's the quick pitch, goes to Michael Ross as he gets it inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. That time the quarterback got the snap from the center, Kevin Gray, or rather Chris Hartwell, and he just quickly flipped it out to the running back, Ross, and that almost worked out to be a good play for the Bulldogs. However, it was good enough anyway for about an 8-yard gain, maybe 9, as it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3, Craig.
3rd down and 3, very close to the first down. A nice run by Michael Ross. But even nicer than that was the block by Matt Cavender, the split end, I think, that set up such a nice run.
I'll set the offense and the defense for these two teams as they are going now right after this next play. Split backfield for the Howe Bulldogs. Here's Carson on 3rd and 4, wants to throw. Got a man. First down, that's Joey McMillian at about the 31-yard line, but did they rule him out of bounds?
What happened on that play, BK, is the receiver, Joey McMillian, had the ball go right through his hands. I thought he caught it at first glance, and then I saw the ball squirt out. So it's going to bring up another 4th down situation for the Howe Bulldogs and Coach Joey McQueen.
Well, it looks like Coach McQueen and the Bulldogs have talked this over, and they're going to go for it. They're at the 35-yard line. Actually, the ball is more like the 36-yard line. So if they don't make this first down, it will give Bells a lot of confidence and some pretty good field position. If they do continue with the drive, then, of course, the Bulldogs have the momentum. And, boy, that old momentum is really a big, big factor in a game like this. Here's Wade Carson. He fakes a couple of times, now hands it off. Number 44 coming around from his split-in position. He will get the first down. And let's see, that's James Fulenchek, who came around from his split-in position. And after a couple of fakes to the running backs in the backfield, he gets the ball and goes to the right side for about 5 or 6 yards. And that's good enough for the first down. 29-yard line is the place of the football, and that's where the Bulldogs will have it. So a big play again, Chris, for that Bulldog offense who came through just in time.
I think the most important play thus far in the game on that 4th down and 3, a very risky call, but it works out for the Howe Bulldogs.
Chris Hartwell up over the ball at center. Here's the quarterback on the inside flanker reverse, and boy, they read this one nicely. I speak of the Bells Panther defense, number 63. He held his ground, and Michael Griffiths just completely dominated the running back, Sean Stevenson. One hit him high and one hit him low, but it was Michael Griffiths who hit him first.
Michael Griffiths really put a stick on the runner that time, like you said. And he's playing on the defensive line with his brother, Bobby Griffiths. They measure 240 and 220 pounds, so a lot of meat up front defensively for the Bells Panthers.
Howe coming to the line of scrimmage, out wide to the near side. It's going to be James Fulenchek. Here's the quarterback, Carson, wants to throw this time. Looks downfield, being rushed. Throws, got a man. That's going to be Fulenchek. Inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Brought down immediately by Justin Barron. But a gain of about 6 on the play. Bring up, let's call it 3rd down and probably near 4 yards, Craig. But that time, the quarterback, Wade Carson, held his ground. He was getting a big rush and held it to the last second before throwing it.
Wade Carson, the senior, showing a lot of poise, BK. He stood in there until the last second, got rid of the ball just in time because he really took a stick from the nose guard, Ricky Good, that time.
All right, it'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Howe Bulldogs as they come to the line with a little more than 10 minutes to play in the first half. Here's a pass out into the flat, and this one is going to be incomplete, overthrown to Joey McMillian. And Craig, at first, I was a little bit scared with that throw because it looked like the Bells Panthers might have been able to intercept. That was one of those kind of floaters out there.
You're right. Justin Harris was playing him man-to-man that time against Joey McMillian. We've seen that play twice now, BK, and 2 times it has not worked for the Howe Bulldogs. So, again, they're in a 4th down and long situation, about 4th down and 4.5 from where I stand. And here comes the field goal unit.
Bonnie Walker will be attempting a long field goal. The ball will be spotted at the 30, just outside the 30. Actually, it's going to be about a 41-yard field goal attempt. Number 11, Scott Grogan, will be holding, waiting for the snap. Here it is, down on the tee. The kick is on the way. He's got lots of distance, but is it good? It is not. It's going to be wide to the right. But, boy, he had the distance on that one, Craig. He had it in the middle of the uprights. It would have been 3 points.
He sure did. He had all the time in the world to kick it. The blocking up front was outstanding. He got enough leg into it, more than enough. Probably could have hit it from 50, but unfortunately it drifted wide to the right, and Bells holds on to its slim 3-point lead here in the early going of the second quarter.
So we have 9:52 to play, still 3-0. Some of our sponsors from Bells, and boy, we do have a lot of these sponsors from Bells. JC's Quick Shop. If you want to go by and talk some Bells Panther football, that's where you need to go by. I know that Sally's probably there, or no, she's probably here at the game. No question about that. And Carol and all of the gang down there want to say, come on by and visit with them. Here's the handoff up the middle across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And that's going to be David Cheatham as he followed Ricky Good and Chris Brown on that right side. Other sponsors, West End Auto. Don't forget old Paul Wiseman over there. He'd like to see you. Come on by and talk a little football with him. Bell's Beauty Salon. Gene Woodruff of Bell's Beauty Salon, always a backer for these Bells Panthers. Also the Bells Medical Clinic. Of course, the Monays there just elated over this Bells Panther football team this year, and they just feel like they're going to go a long way in the playoffs if of course, they beat the Howe Bulldogs to get there. Here's the handoff, and it will be a pretty good hole up the middle across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. With the ball this time is Jason Waldrop, and he was finally met after about a 6 or 7 yard gain. The Bulldogs tackler was Kevin Gray, and again, Craig, this Bells offense is scary because they can score at any one moment.
Very important that a lot of people pay attention to what you just said, because John Norwood, the senior, made a tackle on Jason Waldrop that time that saved 6 points for the Howe Bulldogs, and it is 1st down and 10. Indeed, Waldrop did make the 1st down.
Brett Little coming to the near side as a wide receiver. Split backfield once again. Actually, they have 2 wide outs. Here's the handoff. Hit at the line of scrimmage. And that was Jason Waldrop with the football, but boy, he didn't go anywhere as Kevin Gray hit him right in the old breadbasket as he got to the line of scrimmage. And I don't know, but Jason Waldrop may have a little bit of a stomachache after that one, Craig.
What happened, BK, was Kevin Gray got blown away on the last play, gave up 8 yards because Bobby Griffiths, the center, blew him off the line of scrimmage. Gray came back this time and let Griffiths come to get him. Gray just dodged him and stepped right up and nailed Jason Waldrop for a loss of 1 yard.
Bobby Griffiths up over the football for the Bells Panthers as they come to the line facing 2nd down and 11. They actually lost about a yard on the last play. Here's Smith trying to run the option play. Came good. Good defense and good pursuit as it was Hartwell again, and he was assisted that time by Daniel Williams. But boy, I tell you, this Bulldog defense, they just won't let you get to the outside. If you're going to do something against them on the ground, it's going to have to be these little quick trap plays up the middle, and hopefully you can bust somebody. But they do have some excellent speed getting to anybody trying to get to the outside.
You're very right, BK. Joey McQueen's team has shown, especially tonight in the first few series, that Bells is not going to be able to get around the corner if they try to do that, which they just did, and they didn't. 3rd down and 11.
7:30 left to play in the first half. 3-0. Bells with the lead. Here's the handoff, and here goes David Cheatham. And Cheatham will get it across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. I almost said, here goes the fullback, Jason Waldrop. But he had faked it to Waldrop, as he has normally done throughout the season with his great faking ability. And it was David Cheatham going to the right side after the fake and picking up pretty good yardage, about 6, but 4 short of the 1st down. They'll like about 4 yards. That one really had me faked out, Craig.
That was a very important stand, BK, that time by the defense in the Howe Bulldogs. They really needed to contain Bells that time. They did, and they're forcing a punting situation and should come out with very good field position.
It'll be Brett Little standing inside his 30-yard line, waiting the snap from the center. Chris Hartwell gets a pretty good snap, and the kick is going to be short. Somebody might have got just a piece of that football. I'm not sure. Somebody got real close to it. I believe it was number 82 who came barreling in there, Todd Ray. Ball will go out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So the Howe Bulldogs will have pretty good position to take over this football. Some of our other sponsors, the feed store in Bells, Northland Cable, don't forget Alan over there, and you can hear our broadcast each and every week on KMKT 104.9 on Channel 12, Cable Channel 12, Northland Cable Company. Don't forget to call them and find out all of the things that they've got to offer in the way of cable TV. Allen's Gunsmithing, well, I tell you what, these guys have really been the backers for the Bells Panthers throughout this 1990 season. We've got lots more to go, too. As the Panthers break the huddle, they come to the line of scrimmage. At quarterback once again, or rather, this is the Bulldogs with the ball. Here's Wade Carson run the option play. He faked it a couple of times to the trailing back, Domingo Rivera. Decided to finally keep the ball and picks up good yardage up to about the 45-yard line. Maybe 6 yards on the play. Number 20, Justin Barron's in on the tackle for the Bells Panthers. Craig?
Exactly, BK. A gain of about 6.5. But the thing that really sprung that play was Wade Carson making a fake to the trailing man Rivera in the backfield to keep the defense honest. It did, and he picked up the yardage necessary. Now, second down and nearly 4 yards.
Yeah, you've got to respect that fake pitch because one of these times he's going to pitch it, and they're going to think he's going to keep it, and then off and running we're going to go. Here's the handoff up the middle to Domingo Rivera. He'll cross the 45 up to about the 47. Will be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Number 52 on the tackle for the Bells Panthers was Ricky Good. Other sponsors from Bells, Goins Lumber Company, 4-Star Heating and Air Conditioning, Lester's Paint and Body, Garner Brothers Photography, and Candy's Beauty Salon. Well, I'll tell you what, these are great sponsors. Goins Lumber Company, always nice to talk to us about the Bells Panthers, along with all of the other sponsors that I mentioned. 5:25 to play in the first half. Here's the quarterback, Carson, hands it off. Nowhere to go. I don't think he got the first down, Craig. It was Domingo Rivera, and I know he did. From my vantage point, he did not get 1 inch.
The Bells Panther defense read the play all the way. On the previous play, they hand the ball to Domingo Rivera. He gets about 4 yards, comes up 1 yard short of the first down. They run the same play right after that one, same play up the middle to Rivera. He loses 1.5 yards, and now 4th down and almost 2 yards, and a timeout called by Coach Joey McQueen to think about it because he's got 4th and 2 against a very strong Bells defense.
4:59 to play, first half. 3-0 is our score. We'll be back with more of KMKT's Area High School Game of the Week after this.
The Bells Panthers have a lot of fans, and 2 of their biggest is Dr.
Boy, oh boy, did Mr. Jerry Powell come out of nowhere as Jason Smith was trying to run the option. About the time he got the football and turned, it was Jerry Powell all over it.
Jason Smith maybe took 2 steps down the line of scrimmage, and just like you said, Jerry Powell, the 165-pound senior, was all over the quarterback, and it brings up a loss on the play of about 3 yards. And BK, this drive is starting to go backwards for the Bells Panthers. If I'm correct, it's supposed to go forwards, but it's going back 13 yards now.
Well, you're right about that. We have a timeout. 4:35 to play in the first half. 3-0 Bells. We'll be back with the KMKT Area High School Game of the Week after this message.
One of the Bells Panthers' biggest backers is Mulligan's Little Funeral Home on Highway 82 in Bells. Mulligan's is proud to be a part of this broadcast so that Panther fans that could not attend the game can follow the team as they make their bid toward another district championship. Mulligan's Little Funeral Home accepts most all burial policies and would be more than happy to assist you with your pre-need funeral plans. To arrange for an appointment, call 965-4244 or go by their location on Highway 82 in Bells. Mulligan's Little Funeral Home, proud sponsors for those fighting Bells Panthers.
4:35 to play in the first half as the Panthers just call for a timeout. 2nd down and 19 when we go back to playing. Craig, if there's big plays in a ball game, it would have to be going on 4th down in your own end of the field, trailing by only 3 points, and then your defense coming in and stopping the opponent.
When you make them, you're a hero. When you don't, you find yourself in trouble. And luckily, the Howe defense has been able to back up the miscue on the offense.
Here's Jason Smith back to pass. After he faked, he was trying to hit number 81, Jason Taylor, going right down the middle of the field, but the pass was way overthrown, and this is about as bad a first half as I've seen Jason Smith have, Craig, and it's not for any purposes of him not being a good quarterback. It's, I think, the defense is causing him lots of problems right now.
I agree. The secondary that time on the part of Howe was playing up very tight, causing a lot of problems for the quarterback Smith trying to read the defense, and he's just having a lot of trouble getting his passes on target. That one badly overthrown.
All right, 4:31 to play. 3-0 our score. The Bells Panthers have the lead, but they're facing third down and 19. Here's the quarterback, Smith, fakes, wants to throw. Now does. He's got a man. That's Chip, not Chip. Yes, it is. It is Chip Smith. Across the midfield stripe to about the 49. Going to be way short of the first down, but Craig, a big thing on that play was it will enable them to play better field position and give their punter a lot better chance in pinning the Howe Bulldogs back near their goal line.
Exactly right. They got 9 on the play, and it does give their punter a little bit more room to work with. Now, you know, he would have probably had to punt the ball somewhere around his 25. He's up now punting the ball up around his own 39-yard line.
Better watch out, Craig. There's a big bulldog right behind you. As the Panthers will punt. Standing at his own 38-yard line, getting the kick away is Brett Little. It'll bounce around at the 20, inside the 15, and will roll dead at about the 12 or 13-yard line. Chip Smith will kill it there, but that's where the Bulldogs will take over. But give this Bulldog defense credit. They were in a situation where after their offense failed to pick up a first down on 4th down and 2 and their own 48, that Bulldog defense, with the aid of a penalty, really held their ground, and now will take the football over again at their own 13-yard line. 3-0 is our score. It's been a defensive battle so far all the way, and that's kind of what we expected.
Exactly right, and you made a great point that it was very important that Howe play strong defense after giving the ball up on downs and not making the first down, and they did exactly that. A beautiful defensive stand by the Bulldogs.
Chris Hartwell up over the football for the Bulldogs. They come out of the huddle with one wide receiver. The handoff goes to Domingo Rivera. It was designed to go inside. He goes outside, and he's going to lose about 2 yards on the play as number 23. It was Justin Harris really reading that play nicely and brings the ball carrier Domingo Rivera down for about a 1 or 2 yard loss.
That time, BK, you could exactly see it in Rivera. He really respects this defense of Bells as he took the ball and immediately started running backwards to look for some kind of a hole. And as you said, Harris just came up and put a lick on him. And I think we're seeing the backfield for the Howe Bulldogs really know how good this Bells defense is.
Second down and 12. The ball is just about at the 12-yard line, it looks like, from here. Here's the quarterback, rolls out to the right, looks downfield. He's looking for McMillian. Now he's going to run. He's up to the 20, the 23-yard line. And a good judgment made that time by the quarterback, Wade Carson. And he picks up, I believe, very close to the first down. Did he get it?
From where I'm standing, he did get it, and now I see the official is signaling that he did. And you couldn't have put it better, BK. Wade Carson made an excellent decision to tuck the ball in and run it because he had a couple of blockers in front of him, and most of his receivers were deep down the field, stretching out the secondary and enabling him and the offense to get a first down.
Our press box is beginning to fog up a little bit, Craig. It's going to be hard to see after a while.
I could see you at the beginning of the game, and you're right. I'm having trouble seeing you. I can just see a little bit of a microphone and a mustache at this point.
Here is the handoff, goes to Domingo Rivera to the left side. He's got some running room this time across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Domingo Rivera on the carry, and he was brought down that time by number 10, and that was Jason Smith on the tackle. But a good gain of about 7 yards on the play. That's the best running play for Domingo Rivera tonight. Second down and 3, 2:33 to play in the first half. The Panthers with the lead, 3-0, Craig.
What set that play up so nicely for Rivera, enabling him to get the 7 yards, was the blocking of Michael Ross just right out in front of him, bulldozing some of the defensive players in his pass.
Chris Hartwell again up over the football. They come out now with 2 wide receivers to either side. That's going to be Sean Stevenson and Joey McMillian. Here's the handoff up the middle, and that's going to be a fumble on the play. And let's see if it was dead or not. It looks like it might be a live ball. Bell says they have the football. But the referees have not given us an indication as of yet, one way or the other. They say now Howe Bulldog football. So Bell's created something of a fumble, but evidently the whistle had blown. No gain on the play. Bring up third down, I believe, and still about 2 or 3 still needed. Right, Craig?
Just about that much. I think it's going to be maybe...
Oh, no, they do give him the gain almost to the first down marker, don't they?
Very close, and indeed they're going to bring the chains on the field. Let me get it back to that play that just took place. I didn't see the ball come out, but I did see a Bells player come out of the pile with the ball, but the back judge, even though the Bells player had the ball, immediately signaled third down. No, indeed, you don't have the ball. It's still Howe's ball.
And it is first down. Don't forget, we'll be going in with some live reports throughout this ball game from Salina. As Tommy Newsom is over there, he'll be calling in some live reports for us during this broadcast to let us know how that game is going with the Van Alstyne Panthers. And, of course, that's a biggie over there as well. We're going to hopefully have G.A. Moore or maybe Mark McDaniel with our post-game show along with Joey McQueen or Gary Reeves of the Bells Panthers. So stay tuned for our post-game show. We might have some good information for you as to when and where and all that kind of stuff for the next playoff. Bells,
BK, what happened on that play? After the critical first down made by the Howe Bulldogs, they get into the huddle, take too much time, and are hit with a 5-yard delay of game penalty, which is very costly after they have just racked off 2 consecutive first downs, something they haven't been able to do all evening.
Yeah, mistakes in a game like this can kill you. A minute 19 now left to play in the first half. 3-0 is the score. Here's Carson, will fake, now rolls back. He sets up the screen pass, and here goes the running back, Domingo Rivera, I believe, and he's going to be hit quickly by Justin Harris as he could not get away from Justin. But Harris played that one very nicely. He was the only man over there that could have brought him down and actually keep him from getting some big yardage. But he did, and that's what he is out there for. Craigie did a good job.
That's the second time, BK, that he's done that to Rivera. I think Rivera's number is in the mind of Jason Harris, as Harris has just shut down Rivera on 2 plays in the last drive alone.
You're right. 42 seconds left to play in the first half. Carson back to pass. Looks, being rushed. Going to be sacked in the backfield. Fumbles the ball, and Bells is going to have it, I think. Well, let's check it out. It is first down for Bells. They hit the quarterback just as he was about to throw the football, and I don't know who recovered the football. Did you catch the number, Craig?
I didn't, but I can tell you one thing, BK. Jason Smith caused that fumble. He came all the way around the right side of the field behind the quarterback, Wade Carson. Carson had no idea he was back there. For the quarterback, he went for the ball, slapped it out of the quarterback Carson's hand, caused the fumble, and if I am correct, I think it may have been Bobby Griffiths or Jason Taylor who came up with it. What a turnover.
Yes, sir. It's a big turnover. Back there. It was Wesley Miller, the intended receiver, but good defensive work that time by the Bulldogs. And, you know, Sean Stevenson was back there along with number 24. Let's check that. That was Damian Harden back there. And it looked like they bumped a little bit, but it was incidental bumping, and so no flag was thrown. Incomplete pass, bring up second down and 10. 27 seconds left to play in the first half. 3-0. And the turnover by the Bulldogs has set up Bells in pretty good shape here. If they could get some points here, it would really be, I guess, a momentum builder going in at halftime. Here's Smith, comes to the line, running the option play to the right. Pitches back. Here's David Cheatham trying to get the corner. Won't do it as good defensive work by the Howe Bulldog defense, and I believe it was number 10 over there who did it, Michael Ross. Am I right, Craig?
Exactly. Michael Ross making a fine defensive play. A loss of about 3.5, depending on where they spot the ball. Now they're spotting the ball all the way back to the 26-yard line, so actually a 4-yard loss. BK, on the previous play where the ball was spotted, it was at the 22. It would have been a 39-yard field goal into a very slight breeze, but with the 4-yard loss.
Craig?
Yes.
There is a timeout. Let's see if we can't get that report from Salina.
Okay.
Report 7-0 with the Salina Bobcats leading in the second quarter. 11 seconds to play here. And it looks like the Bells Panthers just threw an incomplete pass. It was intended for number 81, Chip Smith. And Craig, can you tell us a little bit about that play?
The play was set up beautifully. Jason Smith had all the time in the world to throw that pass, and Jason Smith was simply just wide open down at the 10-yard line. He dropped the ball, and it would have put Bells in beautiful field goal position, and now they're forced to go for it on 4th down and long.
All right, 4th down, 13, 11 seconds to play. Here's the snap back to Jason Smith. He gets out of one tackle, looks downfield. Now he's going to run. He can run all day. He's down to the 20, the 15, and he's out of bounds near the goal line, or did he get in? He did.
He did get in. Touchdown.
It is a touchdown for the Bells Panthers. As he just got in, it looked like he might have stepped out of bounds. But Jason Smith has run it in for a touchdown, but there is a question mark on this play.
I don't think they're going to give it to him, and there's going to be a penalty, BK.
It is illegal procedure against the Bells Panthers.
Number 4, BK. 4 times Bells has done that this evening, and this is the most critical one. They just took 6 points off the board.
And more than that, they took a bunch of time off the clock. Only 1 second left. You're going to be talking to who? Joey McQueen first, or the coach for Bells first?
I'll be talking to Gary Reeves just as he takes his team into the to the locker room at halftime, BK?
You better be ready to get over there. Because Gary Reeves has got a 3-0 lead. 1 second left to play in the first half. And this should be the last play, barring any kind of a penalty. Here's the snapback. Smith will throw it long and deep toward the end zone. It's going to be caught by somebody. It looked like, I never saw it hit the ground. Incomplete pass is what they call. Well, that was one of those alley-oops and hopes for the best, but it didn't work out that time for the Panthers. But at any rate, we're at halftime. 3-0 is our score. Bells with the lead as my own field announcer, Craig Sisney, goes over to the Bells coach. Craig?
Real quick word with you, Coach Reeves. How do you feel your team's done here in the early going against this strong Howe team?
Well, we've been really inconsistent offensively, and we're going to have to put some things together running the football. Done a poor job doing that. And, we can't get a break on, we always make an error somewhere on the touchdown. We've got too many men lined up in the backfield. Those are mental errors, and we got to straighten that stuff out.
The penalty with 3 seconds left, taking the 6 points off the board, and the fine run by your quarterback. You still go into the locker room with a 3-point lead. What do you hope to do and come out to do against this Howe team in the second half?
Well, we just got to settle down and play better. That's the only thing. We just got to block better and do a better job of running the football. We're not running the football well enough.
Appreciate your time, Coach Reeves. Best of luck to you in the second half. Thank you.
Okay, good interview, as that was Coach Gary Reeves of the Bells Panthers. His team leading here at halftime by a score of 3-0. And, of course, the Salina Bobcats leading 7-0. So if everything stays as it is right now, Craig, it would be, of course, the Bells Panthers going up against the Salina Bobcats in the first round of the playoffs next week. But there's still a half of football to play, and this ball game is still very much in doubt as to who's going to win.
Very much in doubt indeed, BK, because it's rocked back and forth, and it has been pretty much, as you said, it was going to be. It's been a defensive struggle. Barring the touchdown run there at the end of the first half by the Bells quarterback, Smith, it really has been such a very close game that either team could be ahead at this time. And you have to go back to the first quarter when the Howe Bulldogs missed the field goal that could have tied this game at 3-3. And I've got some quick stats here to give you if you want them. The first downs is pretty much even. Howe had 5 first downs, BK, in the first half. Bells had 4, and that's not very many. And only 1 penetration inside the 20-yard line all night, and that was by Howe, if you remember. Besides that, it's been just defense, except for the last play of the first half.
Yeah, and as we look back the way this game started, Craig, it looked like it might really be an offensive football game because Michael Ross gets loose for Bells on the first play from scrimmage for about a 50 or 60-yard run down to about the 20-yard line. But that's been about the extent of the offense, really, for the Howe Bulldogs. And, of course, the Bells Panthers had a couple of pretty big plays there, and they got their 3 points out of it. But other than that, it's been a defensive struggle for both teams, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to the second half. I think maybe both coaches might open it up just a little bit more. I know that I know that Joey McQueen is a gambler, as he proved a moment ago when he had that ball at his own 48 with about 2 yards needed for the first down. He went for it, didn't get it, but the dog defense came through, and they did get the ball back. But, you can't keep trying to do that and make first down. And be unsuccessful doing it.
And more important than that, you really have to hand it to Howe in a way that their defense has held when their offense has failed. But more importantly than that, when the Howe offense coughs up the ball, gives the ball over on a fumble deep in their own territory late in the second quarter, just before halftime to Bells, that the defense holds and keeps this game from being a 10-0 game. But more importantly than that, there have been some very, very costly penalties for Bells. And the most important one was negating the 30-yard touchdown run by Wade Carson.
Well, Craig, it's been one of these games that I've enjoyed, and I know you're going to have some halftime guests there for us after a while. Have you got anybody in mind yet, or are you just going to go snooping around?
I'm looking for the band director of what I've heard to be a very fine Howe Bulldog marching band.
Oh, yeah, they really are. They're a heck of a nice band, and, boy, they do a good his team leading here at halftime by a score of 3-0. I'm going to be talking to the superintendent here at Howe High School, Pete Simmons, when we come back in 3 minutes.
Center, Northland.
Back to Howe Bulldogs Stadium. Halftime score 3-0 in favor of the Bells Panthers. Craig, you're standing there. Looks like you might be a little chilly. Have you got somebody else lined up for us here in a little bit?
Working on some of the cheerleaders. You mentioned something about being chilly. I mentioned earlier in the game that there wasn't any wind and it has died down, and it wasn't quite as cold as I thought it was going to be. And as you look at me now, there's some vapor coming out of my breath, so it is getting quite colder. Can't really tell you if it's going to have any effect on the players of the game, but yes, it is a little bit cooler down here, and just enjoy yourself up there in the booth and stay warm for me.
Well, if you want to make a little trip up here, you're welcome to do so. Don't forget, though, I guess you'll be talking with Joey McQueen as the Bulldogs come out in the second half.
Of course not. Looking forward to talking to the head coach. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to tell us, because I'm sure he had a lot to tell his players in the locker room as they are down 3-0 to a very good Bells team.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. With me now, of course, is the superintendent here at Howe High. Of course, is the superintendent here at Howe High School, Pete Simmons. And Mr. Simmons, always a pleasure to have you with us on our broadcast, and certainly I know you're very proud of this football team, but something else you're very proud of is this band that we're watching out here tonight.
That's right, BK. We really are. We're seeing a great performance, and of course this is their final performance before the home crowd before we go to Austin to participate in the state marching contest next Monday. And we're extremely proud. They're doing a very, very fine job here tonight, as they do each year.
Well, I think as we talked about, 10 out of the last 11 years they've been in this same position. They were the, they got the #1 trophy in 1980, and they'd like to bring that back, I guess, this year.
That's true, BK. They've been to Austin 10 of the 11 years of the contest, and I think more than any other 2A band. And so we're kind of a fixture down there, and having won it once, and in the finals 4 of the time, second place once. So, yeah, we're looking forward to Monday and hopefully try to win that championship again.
Well, in the background, you can hear the Howe Band, and let's pick that up just a little bit. The Howe Bulldog Marching Band, and what a great job they do. Who's the young lady down there? The
drum major?
Drum major.
That's Charlotte Powell. She's doing an outstanding job. I think as you see the completion of the performance in a minute, you'll see what a job she does in showmanship as well as in direction of the band.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are a pleasure to watch. Let's go down on the field here, and I believe Craig has got somebody here. Craig?
I'm here with senior cheerleader Melinda Hickson. Melinda, this is your last game as a senior and as a Howe Bulldog cheerleader. Hopefully, though, your team will get into the playoffs. Your team's down 3-0 right now. Is that going to mean more cheering, or do you think the team's going to come out and maybe pull this game off?
No, I think they'll come out and pull it off real well. We're just getting warmed up right now. We'll get going as soon as the game progresses.
You mentioned warmed up. It's gotten a little bit colder down here on the field, and I notice you have some gloves on and your jacket. Is the cold started to affect you and the other cheerleaders?
No, once you get cheering, then your body heat starts coming up, and then we really get into it. But
and you're hoping maybe next week it'll be colder because you'll hopefully get to cheer, because if you get to cheer next week, that means your team will have won tonight and you'll be in the playoffs, right?
Right.
So I mean, are you and the other senior cheerleaders really happy? I mean, has this been a good senior year for you?
Oh, yeah, it's been real good. We're real proud of our Bulldogs, and I think that we're going to win and go on.
Well, we'll see, and hopefully I think you may be right. I'm about to talk to your head coach, and I think maybe he feels the same way. We hope you all do, and I appreciate you taking time to talk to us tonight. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. A good interview with the young cheerleader from Howe, and I'm sure Craig's going to be talking to some of the Bells cheerleaders before it's all over with. Mr. Simmons, we're just about to the finale, it looks like here.
Right. We're proud of our band, BK.
Well, I'll tell you what, that don't bring goosebumps to you. I don't know what will. Everybody standing here in the stadium, and that includes across the way. A lot of the Bells fans were standing up, and, this is what football is all about. It's not just football on Friday nights. You've got great, great people out here participating in all different events. Mr. Simmons, let's talk, though, football. We're at halftime, 3-0. The Bulldogs trailing. Actually, this is still anybody's football game.
That's true, BK. I used to coach, too. In fact, I coached Joey McQueen in high school. He was a quarterback for me for 2 years, as well as one of our other assistant coaches. And And I think one of the things I hated the defense the worst was their offense. It's a very difficult thing to defense, and I think that so far our team's doing a great job. But it's very explosive, as you know, and at any time they're a threat to go all the way. I think the strength of our team is our defense, and so far they're performing very, very well.
Michael Ross, who was injured last week, had those 30 stitches, I believe, above his eye. And, well, this guy's a tough cookie. And of course, a lot of the running has been taken over by Michael Ross, or Michael Bailey.
Michael Bailey, right.
I believe I said Ross, but Bailey hasn't played as much. Do you think that's really taken a lot out of your offense, although Ross got the big run early?
There's no doubt about it. Michael Bailey has been the heart and soul of our rushing offense all year. He's very, very quick and very small, because, and a lot of times he can kind of hide in, and especially as big as the Bells linemen are. I think a lot of times he could squirt through there maybe and gain a little bit, but we're missing him. He has those stitches. Unfortunately, the doctor's going to release him in the morning, but that's not going to help us a whole lot tonight. So we definitely are missing Michael tonight.
Well, Pete, I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with all of the facilities here. You've redid your press box, and it's just a great place to watch a football game and to broadcast a game out of. And I want to thank you very much for all of the Howe hospitality that we've received here, and certainly we're looking forward to a great second half.
Well, we're always glad to have you, BK. We appreciate you covering us, and I think it's going to be exciting second half. I think we've been a second half ball club most of the year. As you know, in talking with the coaches, we've come on of late. We were inexperienced early in the year, and that experience is now beginning to come into play. And I believe that in the second half, I hope you see the fruition of all of Coach McQueen's work here in the last couple of 3 weeks. And I believe you'll see a good football game again in the second half.
Once again, Pete Simmons, the superintendent here at Howe High School. Pete, always a pleasure, and thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
And we're going to be ready for the second half kickoff here in just a moment. We're going to go down to Craig first. Craig, do you see the players and coaches coming out yet?
They're starting to make their way out of the locker room. They had come out just a second ago, and then they went back in. I mentioned before that Coach Joey McQueen would probably have a lot to say to his team, and evidently he did. They went back in for just a couple of moments. I am waiting for Coach McQueen to come out with his team after talking to them at halftime, and hopefully we'll have some words with him about what he told his team and how he intends to get his team back in this game.
Okay, hopefully we'll have time to take this 1 minute short break, and we'll be back with that interview in just a moment.
Tommy.
Again, BK Lindsay back here in Howe, Texas, as we get ready for the second half. Craig, I believe you're waiting for the coach who's just about to make his way up to you there.
Coach McQueen, can I have a couple quick words with you? What exactly did you tell your ball club in the locker room?
We told them that we'd better come out and play 24 minutes of football. We're going to be losing this game. Right now, we're ahead on first downs, which doesn't mean anything because we're behind on the scoreboard, but all we need is a touchdown, hold them to shutout scoring, and we're going to win 6-3, and that's what we're looking for.
And penalties really have worked in your advantage that took the Bells touchdown off the scoreboard, and it's really keeping you close at this point.
That's right. I think we're just as good as Bells, and we're going to try to prove this half, and we'll see what kind of young men we have.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Best of luck to you in the second half.
Thank you very much. Once again, Joey McQueen, he still has a lot of confidence. And joining me now is Jeff Nelms of the Sherman Democrat. And Jeff, I know that you got here a little bit late today, or tonight, but you've been on the field covering a lot of things, and this has been a very good football game.
A very good football team. Actually, I've been freezing on the field, and this is a welcome to come up here. And this is a nice press box. I like it up here, but as far as the game goes, it has been a great game. I think it's been every bit a game as I expected it to be. It's been a defensive battle. A couple of big plays have gone either way, and like Craig said on the field, penalties have made the difference, taking away that late touchdown.
All right, we have a report, I believe, from Salina. So let's get that report from Salina and see how that ball game is coming along.
This is Tommy Newsom reporting live from Bobcat Stadium in Salina, Texas, where the Salina Bobcats have taken a halftime lead over the Van Alstyne Panthers by a score of 20-0. This game being a total defensive game except for two big turnovers by the Van Alstyne Panthers, one coming on a blocked punt by Salina, which resulted in a 2-yard Mike Bruce touchdown. The other, a turnover, a fumble, which resulted in another 2-yard Mike Bruce touchdown. But the big play, the big drive of the game, a 73-yard drive by the Salina Bobcats, late in the second quarter, started on their own 27-yard line, went 73 yards for another Mike Bruce 6-yard touchdown. That's where it stands. Salina's on top, 20-0 in this one. And this is Tommy Newsom reporting for KMKT 104.9 FM.
Thank you very much, Tommy, for that report. 20-0, the Salina Bobcats. And, Jeff, that kind of surprises me somewhat because G.A. Moore had some key injuries in that game. And I'm speaking of Damian Wilson and also Mike Bruce, or Melvin Bruce. And neither one of those two players was supposed to have played, but I believe that Damian Wilson is playing on the offense tonight. Not defensively, but offensively. He got the release right before the ball game.
Right. Salina's got a lot of players, though. They've got a lot of offensive weapons, as you well know. And it is a little bit of a surprise for them to be up 20-0, but there is still a half of football to play, just like there is here.
Okay, it'll be the Howe Bulldogs kicking off to begin the second half of play with Bells leading it by a score of 3-0. Here's a short kickoff. It's going to be fielded at about the 30-yard line. And bringing it back on the left side to about the 31-yard line, and that is all, is number 20, Justin Behrens. As Behrens looked for a moment that he might get some room to the outside, but a quick defensive play made by number 62, and that, of course, was Gerard Killo. Bells offensively starting off this way. Chip Smith, the tight end. Brett Little, the split end. Jeff Taylor and Chris Brown are the tackles. Michael Griffiths and Ricky Good, the guards. And Bobby Griffiths will be the center. Quarterback Jason Smith. The fullback is Jason Waldrop. And the running back David Cheatham. Wesley Miller will be in the slot or as a wide receiver this time. As we come to the line of scrimmage, the Bells Panthers leading it 3-0. Jason Smith looking over that Howell defense has been very strong. Here's the handoff, goes to Cheatham, left side behind Jeff Taylor. Gets about 3, maybe 4 on the play, up near the 34-yard line. Making the tackle for the Howe Bulldogs, Jerry Powell, the left end. Defensively for the Bulldogs, it looks this way. The defensive ends are Chris Hartwell and Jerry Powell. The tackles are Jason Mitchison and Daniel Williams. The linebackers, Monty Walker, John Norwood. The nose guard, Kevin Gray. Left cornerback is Matt Cavender. The right corner is Sean Stevenson. The safeties are Scott Grogan and Wade Carson. It'll bring up second down and 6 as the Panthers come to the line of scrimmage. Here's the option play. Jason Smith fakes, and then he should have handed it off to the first back through on that one because number 64 coming in there was Kevin Gray, and he didn't let the quarterback get an inch that time. In fact, he lost about 2 or 3 yards. That play just didn't work at all, Craig.
Kevin Gray, as you said, the 175-pound senior, getting some very nice penetration, causing the 3-yard loss, bringing up a long third down and 7 to go for the first down. One note you may be interested in, Daniel Williams, the right tackle, defensively 170-pound senior, has pulled up out of the game and come out with a hurt hand, so he's being replaced.
Jason Smith has him back to the line, split backfield. Here's the fake now rolling out to the left. He's got lots of room. Here goes Jason Smith, 30, 35. He's to the 40, the 45. He's to the 50. He may go. He's to the 40, the 35, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, the 15-yard line. And had he got a block from number 1, Wesley Miller, he could have gone all the way. And that was not something that I'm sure that that's going to be really a big difference in this ball game. But I'm looking at number 1 out there, Wesley Miller. I think he thought he had it all the way to the end zone. He didn't see anybody behind him. Had he just got in front of him, Jason Smith could have taken that one in.
Well, a lot of times wide receivers, there's a danger of a clip penalty on a breakaway run like that. But that run further illustrates the talent of Jason Smith. He goes back to pass. He doesn't see anybody. He pulls up and he runs the ball, in addition to the good job he does running the options. So you really got to pressure him.
First down and 15. Here's the handoff. Goes right up the middle to Waldrop, and Waldrop will get it to about the 15-yard line. A gain of near 3 on the play. Bring up second down and 7. Craig, that might have been the biggest play of this football game thus far a moment ago.
Well, you have to hand it to the offensive line of the Bells Panthers as they held the defense off and they gave Carson enough room to run. But more importantly than that, it's really got to be demoralizing as far as the Howe defensive team goes, that they really needed to hold Bells offensively, and they didn't do it, and thus it's second and about 8 on the 15-yard line in scoring territory.
With backfield, here's the handoff, goes to David Cheatham. He's got a hole inside the 10, almost broke it for the touchdown. He was tripped up by a shoestring at about the 5-yard line by number 44, and of course that being James Fulenchek. But Mr. David Cheatham almost broke it for the touchdown, but he got enough yardage to get the first down. It's going to be first and goal to go for the Bells Panthers at the Bulldog 5-yard line. Craig?
In the first quarter, BK, the Howe defense held Bells to just a field goal inside the 20-yard line, and here's Bells with the ball on the 5-yard line. Let's see if Howe can do it again.
9:25 to play. Here's the quarterback sneak by Jason Smith, and he's going to get it close to the 2-yard line, it looks like, from here. Fulenchek again on the tackle, and getting up off the bottom of the pile was number 32, and that would be John Norwood. 9:11, the clock running here in the third quarter, and no doubt about it, Jeff, if they score here, it's going to put that Bulldog offense in a big, big bind.
Oh, I agree. This is an impressive drive, aided, of course, by the big play, but this is going to put, like you said, the Howe offense is going to have to come back and try to respond to this touchdown and get one of their own, I think.
The ball is at the 3-yard line. Second down and goal to go. Jason Smith to the line. He'll run to the left, cuts it back, and he's going to be in for the touchdown. He went right behind Michael Griffiths and Jeff Taylor, and now the Panthers lead it by a score of 9-0 with a try for extra point to come. 8:46 remaining in the second quarter, or rather third quarter, and I guess you were down a little bit closer than I was to that one. Can you tell us a little bit more about that play?
I sure can, BK. Jason Smith, the quarterback, a really good heads-up play. He had the opportunity to pitch it to Jason Waldrop, chose not to do that, kept the ball, and went right into the end zone behind Jeff Taylor, the big offensive lineman.
All right, here's the try for extra point. Fumble, snap, and picking the ball up is going to be number 12. He fakes it, runs it in, and it's in there for a 2-point conversion, and he gets it in on a busted play. Brett Little was the man that did it. The snap was low, and Mr. Little just picked it up, took off with the football, and got in for the 2-point conversion. I thought that was going to be disaster, but it turned out to be very good for the Bells Panthers. It's 11-0 with 8:46 to play in the first half. You're listening to KMKT's Area High School Game of the Week between Bells and Howe. We'll be back in just a moment.
Call 965.
11-0 our score with 8:46 remaining in the third quarter as the Bells Panthers on a touchdown run by Jason Smith has got the lead, then a 2-point conversion that actually was going to be a 1-point conversion. Here is a kick. It hits one of the Howe Bulldogs in the back, and it's going to be recovered by the Bells Panthers. And Craig Sisney, you're down there on the field. You saw what happened.
I can't believe what I just saw. I don't think I've ever seen that. The kicking team, the receiving team, the Howe Bulldogs, the up men turned their back to help their return man with the blocking. The ball never got up in the air, and boy, oh boy, BK, is Gary Reeves, or pardon me, Joey McQueen really hot about what just happened. That's so peculiar, but nonetheless, Bells with probably the most important turnover, to say the least, of the evening, giving them the ball on the 45-yard line of Howe.
Well, the Panthers come out. Bobby Griffiths up over the football at center. First play is going to be a pass play, and now Jason Smith is being harassed. He throws downfield. He had a man open, but he didn't see him quite in time. The ball was a little bit underthrown. Out there as the intended receiver was Jason Taylor, and once again, had he had a little bit more time to throw that football, Mr. Nelms, that could have been another touchdown.
Yeah, the wide receiver out there was wide open. Now, let's give Jason some credit on that throw. I don't know how he got that throw off. He's in the grasp of a Howe defender, but again, a great play.
And BK, there is a late flag down around the 45-yard line, and I think it's going to go against Bells.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. That was a penalty on that last play, as Craig indicated, a 5-yard penalty, so it will move the ball back to the midfield stripe as Craig makes his way across the way over in Bells land, and he'll be talking to some of the Panther fans as well as some of the cheerleaders, whoever knows what else over there. At any rate, 8:36 to play in this third quarter, 11-0. The Bells Panthers have the lead. Second down and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Jason Smith has him to the line, one wide receiver, and here's the quick pass over the middle. It's caught on a beautiful catch. I believe he caught it. Did he not, Jeff?
They're going to call it an incomplete pass, I believe. I think he trapped it a little bit when he went down.
Well, it was a fake, and then the quarterback just rose up through the football to Brett Little, and it looked like from here that he might have caught it before it hit the ground, but they do rule it incomplete. So bring up third down and 15. That play worked pretty nicely a couple of times this season that we've seen.
Yeah, that's something we haven't seen tonight anyway. That particular play, just a little quick read, fake. In the middle, they've been running that belly play to the fullback all night, and you can lull them to sleep that way.
Wesley Miller, Brett Little come out as wideouts this time. Split backfield. Here's the quarterback straight back to pass. It looks like they were trying to set up the screen. Now he's going to throw long downfield. He's got a man out there. It's going to be incomplete. Good defensive play and good reaction by the Bulldogs.
Late flag.
But now we have a late flag on the play. And this could be interference against the Howe Bulldogs. It was intended out there for Brett Little. But I'll tell you this much. That was good defense. It looked like from here, Jeff. I didn't see much. Well, let's go down to the field. He was right there by it. Craig?
I'm standing on the 10-yard line on the opposite side of the field that I was standing on. The ball was tipped at the 11, but there was very clearly contact on the part of the defensive team by the Howe Bulldogs. Mainly, I believe, getting in there, getting his hands and body in there to break it up, but also cause the interference was either Scott Grogan or Matt Cavender, both were on the scene trying to make the play, but there was clearly contact causing the penalty, BK.
All right, in high school football, of course, interference is a, 10-yard penalty, right, or 15? I believe
it's 15.
It is 15 because it does give Bells a first down at the 35-yard line in Howe Bulldog territory. So that was a very costly penalty. I believe that was a third down play, right?
Right, that was a third down and just about 15 yards. I think in that play it was mainly a case of a face guarding type play. He's got to turn back
and look to the football.
Right, exactly.
8:19 to play in this third quarter. 11-0 is our score. The Panthers, the Bells, have the lead. If this continues the way it's going, it'll be Bells and Salina, as Salina has a 20-0 halftime lead over the Van Alstyne Panthers. So with that in mind, if it continues to be this way, that's the setup for next week. Be sure to stay tuned for our post-game show. We hope to have both of those coaches on the air. Here's the quarterback sneak, Jason Smith, carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, breaking tackles while he's doing it, and getting it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Boy, Jason Smith has got some powerful legs as he had to break 2 or 3 tackles. And, Jeff, that was very impressive.
Very impressive. I don't know if that was a set play where he was going to run a keeper or if he just pulled that in. It's hard to tell with Jason. He's pretty much unpredictable on making his own calls that way, but an impressive run. Continued to turn his legs around and broke 3 or 4 tackles.
So with 7:56 to play in the third quarter, the Bells Panthers break the huddle. Come out in a split backfield. One wide receiver. That'll be Wesley Miller to the far side. Here's the option play, run to the right. Quick pitch. Going to be a fumble, and the Panthers are going to lose this football to the Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. That time as Jason Smith began his pitch, he was hit. The ball never got back to the trailing back, and it was just laying there for it seemed like eternity for the black-shirted Bulldogs to get on it, and that's what they finally did.
I think that was the case of Jason trying to do too much there. He should have just gone ahead and taken the loss. He was in the grasp and about ready to go down, and that pitch was probably something he'd like to have back, I'm sure.
And here we go, back to play. Here's the quick pitch, and it will go to Domingo Rivera, and he hits a brick wall on the left side of the line in the likes of Justin Harris again. And, boy, this guy has really been all over the field for the Bells Panthers. Also over there was John Norwood and the ever-always guy, Jason Waldrop. Let's go down to the field with our good buddy, Craig Sisney.
On the last play, I had been giving a lot of credit to the quarterback, Jason Smith, for the Bells Panther offense, but he just made the biggest mistake that he's made all night in trying to option that ball instead of just keeping the ball and eating the loss.
Wade Carson, the quarterback, has them back to the line. Here's the little inside reverse, and nowhere to go, as hitting him right in the middle of the hole was John Norwood, and that little reverse has not worked all night. Number 20 was the football carrier, Sean Stevenson, and I'll tell you what, this Mr. Behrens and Harris and all these guys defensively for the Panthers have had all those kind of plays figured out tonight thus far.
Yeah, we've talked all season about the Howe defense, but the Bells defense has really played well, and you got to remember Jason Smith is right out there in the end, kind of playing a corner, and he's really played well on defense also.
Third down and 6:30 to play in the third quarter. Here's the big play for the Bulldog offense. Wade Carson in trouble, rolling to the right, throwing deep downfield. He's got a man out there. He underthrows it, and it's intercepted. It is intercepted, and coming up with it is Jason Waldrop at the 33-yard line. Well, Waldrop had great coverage on the inside, but had that pass been thrown quite a bit farther downfield, it could have been a big play the other way. But Waldrop had it played nicely and comes up with the interception.
I like the strategy there by Coach McQueen. You've got to try to open it up a little bit. They're shutting down the running game, and like you said, he had a step on that defender. If that ball's 5 yards farther, it looks like it could have been a touchdown that play.
Craig, how'd you see it?
Exactly. I agree totally. I think what caused that interception was Jason Brogdon was coming from behind at the linebacker position, putting such great pressure on Wade Carson that Carson just simply had to get rid of the ball.
Here's the first play after the interception. Handoff, I believe that's Waldrop with the ball, and he's going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage by number 42 for the Howe Bulldogs, and that's going to be Monty Walker, and Walker really did fill up the hole nicely that time. We have 6:03, the clock running here in the third quarter. Jeff, in your estimation, this Bulldog defense, to me, is maybe the best in the district, but overall, as far as defense and offense combination-wise, Bells and Pilot Point are very equal in that department, it looks like, with Pilot Point winning that game against Bells earlier. I still think Bells has got the kind of team that can pull off the upset. We'll talk a little bit more in a moment. Here's the quick handoff up the middle, and who's carrying the football this time? That's Brett Little, who will get it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And there he's hit by John Norwood. A gain of about 5 on the play, bring up 3rd down and 3. And as I was saying, the two teams that I saw earlier, Pilot Point and Bells, when they played, we know how really well Bells played for the first half. 7-7 draw, and then all of a sudden they get blowed out in the second half. But I think still Pilot Point's beatable.
Yeah, definitely Pilot Point's beatable. I think Bells got a very balanced team on offense and defense, and we're seeing that tonight.
Here's the option play, and he should have handed it off to Brett Little because the quarterback, Jason Smith, just gets buried after he kept the football. He was thinking about pitching the ball that time, but he elected to do the smart thing and eat the football, and he takes about a 2 or 3 yard loss. So this Bulldog defense certainly still playing some great football, Craig.
I think Jason Waldrop may have, the quarterback, Jason Smith may have been a little bit gun-shy because the last time he tried that play, he pitched the ball and he fumbled it, and this time he just chose to eat the ball.
Domingo Rivera was standing back deep to receive the punt from Brett Little, who stands inside his 30-yard line about the 26, gets the punt away, a nice spiraling kick all the way back to the 20. It'll go over the bounce as he had not really any intentions of that ball coming back that far, I don't think, Nelms, and he really got a hold of it.
No, that's not really a wise decision to make, but it is a hard one, to give him credit. It's hard to stand back there and try to decide if you're going to take that play when you've got 11 players running toward you. But in most cases, you need to catch that ball, fair catch it, as opposed to letting it roll like that. Now they've got in addition to needing to score and needing to come up some big plays, they're backed up in their own territory.
We have 4:16 left to play in the third quarter. I know we've had so many... Well, we haven't had that many opportunities is what I'm trying to say to get in some of our sponsors. But don't forget now, you'll be able to hear this rebroadcast of this game Tuesday night on KMKT 104.9 beginning at 7 o'clock. Here's the handoff. What is this? Looked like maybe a ball come loose, but it didn't, as Domingo Rivera was just hit very quickly. And with all the jumping up and down, I thought maybe there might have been a fumble, but that was because of the great play made by the Panther defense as they continue to play well. Craig?
Ricky Good is the person you're speaking of when you say great play, BK. Ricky Good, the 195-pound senior nose guard, split through the defense and stopped Rivera before he could even get to the line of scrimmage.
3:47 left to play, third quarter. If you've just joined us here, it's 11-0. Here's the handoff to Domingo Rivera. Finds a little bit of a daylight this time, and he'll use that daylight up to the 20-yard line. Got it very close to the first down. How close is it, Craig?
I'm looking down the yard line right now, and depending on where they spot the ball, he may just be several inches short, and it's going to be close enough that the head referee is going to call a timeout for a measurement, BK.
All right, and with that timeout, I'll tell you what, have you got, is that a young cheerleader you're chasing over there, Craig?
There's several young cheerleaders over here, BK. I'll try to grab one as soon as I can.
All right, 3:36 we have to play here in the third quarter as they measure. It's going to be about, 2-3 inches, Jeff, needed for the first down, looks like from here?
Yeah, it looks like it. That play is significant, I think. It was kind of a misdirection type play. That's the type of plays they've got to do. The Bells defense is quick, and they pursue very fast.
Go ahead, Craig.
BK, I'm standing here with Heather Young, one of the cheerleaders, over here on the Bells side of the field. And Heather, your team's up 11-0. Does it look good from here on out?
Yeah, it's looking to win. We better hold up.
And go to the playoffs so you can do a lot more cheering.
Yeah, of course.
Well, good luck to you, and we thank you for your time. Up to you, BK.
Here's the quarterback sneak as we go back to play, and I'm not sure, but he only needed a couple of inches, and it looked like Wade Carson did go forward for at least that much for the first down. Don't you agree, Jeff?
Yeah, he did get the first down, but just barely, as you said.
These Bells Panthers are really playing an excellent football defensively tonight, and you knew they were going to be out. I thought they could maybe be successful moving the football offensively, but I just didn't know how well they could stop this Bulldog running attack, who has great speed to the outside, and thus far they've been able to contain it most of the night.
Yeah, especially after last week, the performance they put on the field against Tom Bean.
Here are the Howe Bulldogs. Here's Wade Carson running to the right. Looks like he's got lots of room. He's to the 25, up to the 30, to 35, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. And another good run by the quarterback, Wade Carson. Number 30, Jason Walter, runs him out of bounds, but not before the Bulldogs have picked up another first down. So don't hang up your hat yet, Bulldog fans, because any kind of a touchdown, hey, they're right back in this game, and in a big way. 2:55 left to play, third quarter, 11-0. But the Bulldogs have got a little something going now offensively, Jeff.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Wade Carson is a great competitor. And I think in that play, he just decided on his own he was just going to take charge.
2:55 to play, third quarter as we go back to play. Here's Wade Carson, comes back to the line, or from the line. He's going to throw the ball downfield. He's got Joey McMillian. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and it's a touchdown for the Howe Bulldogs. And no flag on the field. What a pass from Wade Carson to Joey McMillian, and the Bulldogs have come through just about the way I said a moment ago.
Yeah, that was an impressive drive. Big play after big play, and like we said on the previous possession, they kind of lulled him to sleep with those runs. And I tell you, he was 15 yards open on this Bulldog sidelines, and that's the type of plays they're going to have to do to get back in this game, and it appears that they are now.
2:43 to play, third quarter. What a game we have, and I'll tell you one thing, don't go away, because this one still has 14 minutes to play in it. 11-6, and the try for extra point to come, and the Bulldogs will go up to the line of scrimmage to see about making the two-point conversion. Wade Carson has them there. Split backfield, quick handoff. Domingo Rivera trying to get to the outside, can't get there. He's going to be hit in the backfield, first of all, by, I believe that was number 83 that got in the way, Jason Taylor, and then he got some help from another guy down there with a 3 on the side, and I'm going to guess that's Justin Harris again. At any rate, it's 11-6, 2:43 to play in the third quarter. We'll be back with more KMKT's Area High School Game of the Week in just a moment. Bulldogs of Howe is going, and it's 11-6. We have had a terrific football game thus far. Let's go down to the field with Craig.
BK, I'm standing here, and here's some interesting trivia for you. I'm standing here with Rick Neal, and tell us something about the little trivia that you've got for us.
I'd just like to be interested to know that some of the key differences
Players for Bells, 3 of them are brothers. Ricky Jude, Michael Griffiths, and Bobby Griffiths are all brothers. So the 3 starting defensive linemen, the nose guard, the right tackle, and the left tackle, are all related. They are brothers. Back up to you, BK.
Well, that's kind of an unusual situation. Here's the kickoff, and it will go down to about the 10-yard line, taken there by Harris. Harris breaks a couple of tackles down to the 50, up to the 30 to about the 35-yard line. Goes Justin Harris with the football, and so from that point, the Panthers will take over first down and 10 to try to get a little something going offensively, and you got to feel like this Bulldog defense is really going to be fired up now, Jeff.
Well, they've got to be. Their offense returned the favor of their great play all game with that touchdown. I think they're going to come out and play with a lot of emotion on this possession.
So it'll be first down and 10 for the Bells Panthers, who lead in the ball game 11-6, but just a few moments ago, it was 11-0 until the 64-yard pass from Wade Carson to Joey McMillian. Here's the quarterback, Smith. Mark signals, hands off. That's going to be David Cheatham over left tackle behind Michael Griffiths, and actually Jeff Taylor is the tackle, but Griffiths made a pretty good block himself over there for about a 3-yard gain on the run by Jason Waltrip. Kevin Gray, I believe, made the tackle. Tell you what, it's getting a little bit tight up here in the press box with all the Howe Bulldogs supporters that are up here, the PA announcer and everybody else. When they made that touchdown a moment ago, it gave them new life, and the life, of course, of the fans out in front of us here on this side of the field. It's really got them talking now. As they come to the line, second down and 7. Here's the fake. Here is the quarterback back to pass. Fires, got a man. Chip Smith has the first down across the 45 and out to about the 47-yard line. Craig?
A very gutsy call that time by head coach Gary Reeves. I really didn't expect to see his offense put the ball up. I thought they might try to sit on their lead, but on the second play of this early drive here in the third quarter, they throw the ball to junior Chip Smith with the good hands, and he drags in the ball for a very important first down.
Flag on the play, and of course that play will be rubbed out. And tell you what, the Panthers have had some flags that have been very costly in this ball game. All penalties are costly, but it seems like after they do something that gains some pretty good yardage, that's when the flag usually falls. And of course that may be the reason they got the big yardage, Jeff. That's the reason they have penalties.
Could be. They could have got it illegally that way. Who knows? But of course there was none bigger than that Jason Smith 35-yard run, something like that in the first half that called back a touchdown.
Once again, I want to thank all of our sponsors making the broadcast possible tonight as the Panthers come to the line. Second down and 13. Here's the handoff, goes on the little, looks like that might have been the inside reverse to the split end, number 83, Jason Taylor. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. That's who the ball carrier was. And he picks up pretty good yardage out across the 35 to about the 37. Still going to be long for the first down, third down and 8. And Craig, that was kind of a little dipsy-doodle play there.
I think that's just the key, that the Bells offense is trying to catch the Howe defense asleep. They did in a sense, that play could have gone for a lot longer yardage, but now it's 3rd and about 7 yards to go for Bells.
Jason Smith has him back to the line. Here's the pass over the middle, and Chip Smith drops it. It would have been a first down up near the midfield stripe, but that pass should have been caught. Defending on the play was, let's check it, number 32, John Norwood. But I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Smith had that one right where it had to be, and I know that there's nobody more upset right now than Chip Smith.
Sure, a great play by John Norwood. Norwood, as you know, played tailback for the Howe Bulldogs earlier in the season. Last week he was press center duty. Domingo had a slight injury, but Coach McQueen has told me all year that he is more valuable to them on defense, and he certainly showed it there.
All right, it'll be punt time for the Bells Panthers. Standing back inside his 25-yard line will be Brett Little. Waits for the snap. Got a good one. Now waits. Now punts it away, and he gets off another nice punt. It'll be fair caught at the 27-yard line by Scott Grogan. So from that point, it'll be first down and 10 for the Howe Bulldogs. Let's take this 60-second timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. A running play by Michael Ross, a gain of absolutely nothing. Here's the reverse now, goes to number 20 again, and he's going to be hit in the backfield. Jason Walter read that one nicely. That was Justin Barron who had that. Let's check that. That was Sean Stevenson on that reverse, and it was read nicely by Jason Walter. I'll get that right in a moment. A loss of about 3 yards on the play, and Craig, again, it just hasn't worked, that particular play at least.
The Bells defense has really hung in there, BK, every series, especially on that play. Jason Smith, who's going both ways, now on defense, was on at quarterback for Bells, just stopped that run play before it could even get started, and subsequently ends up in Howe losing about 3.5 yards.
And we have no, it's not a timeout. Theoretically it is. That's the end of the third quarter. 11-6 our score. We'll be back with more of the KMKG Area High School Game of the Week after this timeout. Long pass downfield. It's going to be complete, and it's going to go all the way inside the 40 down to the 31-yard line. That would be Monty Walker on the receiving end of that pass from Wade Carson. And as we come back from that commercial, Wade Carson was already in the backfield as he was pumping the arm, and he hit Monty Walker on the sideline, and Monty almost took it all the way.
Great call by Coach McQueen. Great execution by Carson on that play. And again, I think that's the type of thing they've got to do. They've had some success here passing, and I think they'll continue to do so.
All right, it'll be first down and 10. We're going to check with Craig right after this next play on the field. 11:39 to play in the football game. Here come the Howe Bulldogs. Here's the handoff. Goes to Michael Ross. Cuts it back. He's down to the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Michael Ross touchdown Bulldogs. And no flags on the play. Well, as you can hear the crowd of Bulldog fans outside this press box, it is pandemonium here right now. 11:28 left to play in this football game, and the Bulldogs, for the first time tonight, have a lead. It's 12-11 with a try for extra point to come, and it looks like Monty Walker will be attempting at least to make the extra point by kicking it. Although, if you go by 2, you put him, a field goal situation sets up. Now we have some illegal procedure. I'm not sure that I agree with this one-point conversion attempt, Jeff.
Well, I think Coach McQueen has put himself in this position to go for 1, having failed going for 2 down here.
But you're looking at the scoreboard right now. 1 really doesn't mean much. I mean, you get 2, you're talking at least a field goal to be tied. 1 point, field goal beats you.
Yeah, I think you've got to trust his defense, though.
Oh, is that the way it is? Well, I've just been corrected here. There will be no ties or field goals, because the Bulldogs have to win anyway. Okay, 11:28, 12-11 is our score, and there's going to be a timeout before the extra point is attempted, and with that, we'll take a timeout and be back in just a moment.
Panthers, let's get another victory.
We come back to play. That was a short timeout. The pitchback went to Michael Ross on the option play on that try for extra point. He was run out of bounds, so the score remains at 12-11. With 11:28 to play in this football game, KMKG's Area High School Game of the Week will continue in 60 seconds. Okay, BK Lindsay back with Jeff Nelms and, of course, Craig Sisney, our sideline announcer for tonight's ball game. What a game we have. Howe 12, Bells 11. 11:28 to play in this football game, and oh boy, Craig,
BK, we've seen just about everything you can possibly see in a game, and it couldn't be any better. 12-11.
Here is the kickoff, and we can't hardly see out the window. It's getting fogged up in here. Here's Justin Harris, fields it at the 20. He's at the 25, the 30, the 35. He's to the 40, the 45. He's up to the midfield stripe. Justin Harris with the run back. And the Panthers are in great position now to get something on the scoreboard. They're only 50 yards away from the goal line. A field goal will put them on top. So what a run back by Justin Harris. This guy's played both. Defensively is about as good as you can play, and offensively, when he's been in there, he's really contributed quite nicely.
Yeah, he's done a good job along with the entire Bills defense. Other than a couple big plays, this game has really turned around. I think Craig might have changed sidelines prematurely here a little bit.
Yeah, Craig is down on the field. I don't know where he's at right now, but he'll be checking. I want to talk to some of the fans if we can and get their response to this ball game so far tonight, Craig, if we can here in a few moments. Here's the handoff up the middle. Nowhere to go, and that's going to be number 32, I think, with the football, Jason Brogdon, who was in there, or was it Jason Waldrop? It was Waldrop and not Brogdon. A gain of 1 on the play. And, Craig, if you can, get one or two of the Bells fans to let us know kind of how they feel and what's going to end up, and then we'll get some response from the Howe fans. As we go back to play, Chip Smith comes out as a wide receiver to the near side along with Wesley Miller. Otherwise, the split backfield is Jason Smith. We'll have him to the handoff up the middle, and this will be Waldrop, and Waldrop gets pretty good yardage inside the 45 to about the 43. It'll be a gain of 7, bring up third down and 3.5, we'll call it. No, let's call it more than that. I thought he picked up a little bit more yards than he did, but he only picked up 5, so bring up third down and 5 for the Bells Panthers. Big play here every third down from here on out. In fact, it's going to be a very big play. 10-12 left to play in this football game. 12-11. The winner will be going to the playoffs next week, probably playing the Salina Bobcats. The last report had a 20-0 lead over Van Alstyne. As Bells comes to the line, third down and 5, split backfield. Here's the option play to the right. Jason Smith, he's going to be in trouble, but he makes the cut and might have got close to the first down. Tell you what, it's a long way over there to that sideline. I thought maybe he stepped out of bounds way prior to the end of that stick, but it looks like from here he might have got it, Jeff.
Yeah, I think he did. They ran that to the short side of the field, and it sure did. It did look like he might run out of some real estate over there, but he made a good cut and continued to turn away, and I think he's going to have this first down. I think we're going to have a measurement, though.
Craig, are you where you can hear me? Evidently, Craig is...
BK.
Yes.
I can hear you perfectly, and I hate to reverse your call up there in the booth. He is about 2.5 inches short from the first down.
Well, you didn't revert it. I just said I thought he might have got it.
And while I've got your attention, I'm standing here with Carl Thorpe. And Carl, you're a Bells fan, and your team is down now by 1 point. What do you think? There's 9:49 left in the game, and it's anybody's game, but do you think Bells can pull it out?
I think we'll win it. That touchdown call back hurt us, right before the half, but we're going to win it. We're going to pull it out.
Okay, back up to you in the booth as the teams are ready to go on a 4th down conversion.
Well, there's one Bells Panther fan that hasn't given up hope. 4th down and 1 as they come line of scrimmage. Full house backfield, 1 wide receiver. Here is Jason Smith. Fumble, and it's going to be picked out of the air by the Bells Panthers or the Howe Bulldogs. It's going to be Bulldog football. And that was a situation where Jason Smith was trying to run before the snap was made. As the snap got to his hands, it went straight up in the air, and the Howe Bulldogs have come up with a tremendously important turnover in this football game with 9:39 to play.
That makes 2 fumbles now. That makes 2 fumbles now for the quarterback, Jason
Smith. BK, that makes 2 fumbles now for quarterback Jason Smith, and they could not have worse times on a 4th down conversion that Bells desperately needed. He turns the ball over to Howe for the 2nd time this evening.
All right, it's Howe Bulldogs football. Here's the pitch back goes to Domingo Rivera. He has his legs stripped out from under him actually cut out from under him at about the 41-yard line. A gain of near 1 on the play, and a good defensive play made over there by, I think, Jason Waldrop again. Boy, this Waldrop is everywhere. 9:18 to play in this football game. 12-11. The Bulldogs have the lead as they break the huddle. After the big turnover they got a moment ago on the fumble from the center to the quarterback, Jason Smith. Here's Wade Carson. Now we'll hand it off. This is Michael Ross trying to get outside. Won't be able to do it. He's going to lose yardage all the way back to the 35-yard line. Good defensive play by Justin Behrens on the play. That's who made the tackle. We have flags also at the culmination of that play, and I believe it's going to go against the Howe Bulldogs for some reason or another. All right, Craig?
I'm not exactly sure what the call is. The official on this side of the field is definitely signaling that it is indeed against the Howe Bulldogs, and the coaching staff and the players on the Bell side of the field are indeed happy about it. Nonetheless, if the penalty is declined, which it may be, on the great play that time by Justin Behrens, either way you look at it, Howe is in big trouble, and as they step the ball off, the call is a personal foul clipping against the Howe Bulldogs, and that's even more costly than having the 8-yard loss that they just did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and they did take the penalty. They want to back them up as far as they can and hope their defense can hold and then get better field position. I would think, Jeff, that's the thinking of maybe Coach Gary Reeves.
Yeah, I think so. Just put them back as far as you can. A lot of coaches prefer to do that and let their defense work from there.
McMillian will come to the near side as the receiver. Here's the quick handoff, goes to Domingo Rivera. He hits one or two or three Bell's Panthers as he got the football, and they bring him down, led by number 32 on the play, and that's, of course, Jason Brogdon, who's had a great defensive game tonight, defensively, as I said. Third down, and it's going to be, wow, how many yards? 28 is what the scoreboard says.
I don't know if you can see the yard markers from up there, BK, but it's at least that long. It's now third down in about 24 yards.
All right, the ball is at the 25-yard line. Big play here offensively for the Bulldogs and defensively for the Panthers. Here's Wade Carson, rolls out, throws downfield. He's got Domingo Rivera up across the 35 to the 37, and boy, was he ever hit hard by Justin Harris, number 23 again. But Domingo held on to the football. It will be far short of the first down, and it will be punt time for the Bulldogs.
And what an important time, BK, for the Bells defense to come alive. They had been very potent and very strong for the better part of this game. Lagged a little bit, gave up a couple of big plays, and now they're behind, but they've come right back and forced the punting situation by Howe.
So the Bulldogs will be punting, and Justin Harris will be going back inside his 30-yard line to fill this punt from Monty Walker, who stands inside his 30. Gets the snap, kick on the way. It's a high one, wobbly kick. Harris fields at the 30 on the run. 35 cuts it back to the 40. There he's going to be hit by three Bulldogs simultaneously, as number 82, Todd Ray, was the first man down there, and we'll give him credit for the biggest part of the tackle. 7:09 left to play in this football game. It's getting down to crunch time now, and I'll tell you, this is going to end up, I have a feeling, down to the very last second before anybody's going to say who wins this football game, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so. It's going back and forth so fast that both of us are having a hard time keeping up with it.
At least my prediction is fairly close. I said 1 or 2 points, but right now, my prediction, excuse me, I predicted Bells by 1 or 2, and it looks like if it stands this way, it'll be the Bulldogs by 1 or 2.
I'm just glad I didn't have to pick points. At the paper, we just pick teams, and I picked Bells so far.
Here's the Panthers. Here's the fake and the rollout. Now throwing downfield, and he's got a man. He couldn't get it. That was Mark Cuthbertson, who had the ball go through his fingertips out around the 40-yard line. Now that time it looked like Jason Smith had room to run. We have a flag on the play, as I did not see that initially. And Craig, I tell you what, the Bells Panthers are beginning to let the gun go off, and I'm talking about not the ball game, but on their feet and shoes and everything else right now. They're shooting themselves everywhere.
They sure are, and it's going to be very unfortunate if this penalty does indeed go against Bells. We'll wait for the signal, but BK, the penalty is in the area of some kind of, I believe, offensive holding, and it is in...
You're listening to last Friday night's Game of the Week broadcast on KMKT 104.9 FM between the Bells Panthers and the Howe Bulldogs. KMKT 104.9 FM, Sherman, Denison, Texas. We resume play in progress.
Handing it off, fumble on the play, and let's see who's going to get this football. I'll tell you what, Jason Smith had some problems getting rid of the football. I thought he handed it off initially to Brogdon, but evidently they missed contact somewhere there.
What happened, BK? Sorry to interrupt you. I saw it down here in the trenches. It's the second time in a row that the quarterback has had trouble with the exchange. Jason Smith just not getting the ball off cleanly from center Bobby Griffiths. And this is a very, very important third down and the chain stretch forever, about 25 yards for a first.
Mark Cuthbertson will be a wide receiver to the left side. Split backfield. Here's the quarterback, and it's going to be a draw play. Here's David Cheatham. He's to the 30, the 35, up to the 37, and they got the yardage they needed out of that play. And I think if you're a Bells fan, you want to kind of be happy about that because it gets them to a position where they can punt the ball and maybe back up Howe inside the 35-yard line or so. And otherwise, if you don't pick up any yardage on that last play, then you're going to be giving Bells, or rather Howe, the football somewhere around the midfield stripe.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you have an incomplete pass or even worse, a sack, and then you have to punt, you're giving them, Howe Bulldogs, a good chance to score. Plus, they have the momentum now, and I don't think you'd want to do that at this point.
Here's the snap back to Brett Little. He'll kick the ball away, and it's going to be fair caught at the 30, right on the 30-yard line by Scott Grogan. So it will be first down and 10 for the Bulldogs. And as Coach Joey McQueen said, coming back out at the half, Craig, he told you that he felt like this team could win and they could beat Bells. And so far, that pride and that thought of winning is holding up.
He said that exactly, BK, and then he said that his team needed to eliminate mistakes and take advantage of turnover possibilities. That's what he told me before the game. His team has done that, and an incredible comeback by this Howe team, leading 12-11 with 4:57 remaining to play in this game.
So the Bulldogs have the football at the 30-yard line. Here's Wade Carson. Will take now, rolls out to the right, looking downfield. He's got McMillian out there, and he's also got another man. That's Domingo Rivera. Two men in the same location of the pass, and I don't think that was the way it was drawn up. However, it might have been that McMillian was trying to take everybody deep and then have Domingo Rivera come in behind short. But at any rate, good defensive play that time by the Bells Panthers. They had everybody they needed back there to make that play not successful.
Yeah, I really don't understand the strategy so much. I think that they need to control the ball here and eat up some of this clock. I don't know that passing, you got the risk of an interception. You know how the old saying goes, three things can happen when you pass and two of them are bad. So
well, another thing that stops the clock, but you also catch the Panthers a little bit off guard maybe. Here's the handoff. Domingo Rivera will get about 2 yards on the play up to the 35. Bring up third down and 8 on this play. Third down and we'll call it...
They're going to give him about 5 yards on the play. He really got down in there and got some extra effort to get a couple extra yards, but still... You're right, BK. A very important third down and a long 5 for a first down. I think a first down that Howe has to make.
Well, I'm going to disagree and say third down and 6. As we come to the line, the ball is at the 35-yard line. It's a big play either way. Here's Wade Carson takes, and he hands off a couple of times, or fakes the handoff, now hands it off to number 44 coming around the right side of the line. He's going to be hit hard. As with that football was James Fullencheck, and reading it nicely was Wesley Miller on defense that time for the Panthers. And it will bring up fourth down, a punting situation for the Howe Bulldogs as we run under the 4-minute mark. 3:53 exactly left to play as the clock runs. 12-11, and the Panthers are going to have to get this football now if they expect to win this football game, and probably need to do it on this possession.
Yeah, I would think so. With only 3:40 left on the clock, this possession will be a key for them. They're going to have to get down and get a score.
Here's the punt. It goes straight off the side of his foot, and it will go out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, and I believe that's where they're going to mark it. Upfield maybe a little further, up to the 48-yard line. So that's where the Bells Panthers will take over the football at their own 48. So a great situation here for the Panthers. They are... only maybe 35 yards away from winning this football game with a field goal.
Sure, and with Jason Smith back there, anything can happen. He's had some success running the ball as well as passing the ball. But this is a big drive, and this is a gut check for the Bells and their whole team right here.
We're going to try to check out what happened in Salina tonight, but right now we've got important things here. Here's Jason Smith handing it off. Up the middle goes Waldrop, and he'll barrel his way inside the 48 down to about the 45 in Bulldog territory. And a gain of 9, and if you do that a couple of 4 or 5 times and eat up the clock and all that kind of good stuff, I'm sure that's what Gary Reeves would like to do for Coach Joey McQueen. He wants that dog defense to keep that clock running and give up maybe 1 or 2 yards and force them to go for some big pass plays.
Right. Like you said, I don't think they want to get into a have-to-pass situation here. They'd like to be able to run the ball and set up the field goal.
Here's Smith, pass complete, and somersault tackle made. Chip Smith caught the ball for the first down inside the 40-yard line, but it was number 16 over there, Matt Cavender, coming in and he came in underneath him, and he just turned a big old flip right in the middle of the field, but still held on to the football, and it's first down and 10 for the Bells Panthers. Craig, nice catch and pretty good execution.
BK, very good execution. I think that was probably the most important catch Chip Smith has ever made. He's dropped 2 passes tonight, key passes. He catches the most important one.
2:34 to play. Here's Jason Smith rolling out on the opposite play. Going to be hit after about a 1-yard gain, and that one there, well, it just didn't work from the very start, as it was number 42 coming in to kind of foul things up for the quarterback. That was Monty Walker making the tackle. And it looked like Jason wanted to run the option, but there was just no place to run it. They were running it to the short side of the field that time, and they haven't ran the option too often to the any other side than the short side. That's what I'm trying to say. It's 2 minutes and about 2:01 to play in this football game. Smith to the left side. This time they do. Here's Justin Harris. He'll get outside for about 2, maybe 3 yards to the 37-yard line. That's where he's run out of bounds. And coming over to make a great effort on that play was number 20 for the Howe Bulldogs, Sean Stevenson. Also over there was Wade Carson. We have 1:53. The clock stopped here because he ran out of bounds. The ball is at the 36, and it's 3rd down and 7. Big play here, Craig, as that's probably an understatement.
A very big understatement, BK. 1:53 remaining to play in the game. You're down by 1 point, not really in field goal range, and you have a 3rd down and 7. Here come the Bells Panthers on offense.
All right. Jason Smith, the quarterback, runs to the right and fakes. Now back to pass. Going to be hit in the backfield, and he throws. It's going to be incomplete. And they say no grounding of the football, and I agree with that because he threw it, and it hit right at the feet of Brett Little, about 3 or 4 yards upfield, but still in all, a great play by the quarterback, Jason Smith, who got out of the sack at least. And had he been sacked back around the 45-yard line, it would have really been a hard situation for Bells to overcome.
Right. It's still going to be hard. They're I would think out of field goal range, and this is going to make this 4th down play even bigger.
We have
try to pick up 7 yards.
We have a timeout on the field. Let's take this timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Works.
All right, we're back at Howe Bulldogs Stadium with our score 12-11. 1:46 left to play in this football game, and we have one of the biggest situations about to come up here on 4th down. The Panthers need 7 for the first down. Both coaches are in the middle of the field, and I'm sure this is because of any kind of a tie situation that should happen, and I don't see that happening right now with a 1-point lead, but, you know, they have to check everything out and let everybody know who's ahead on penetrations and first downs and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that's what that conversation was about on the field. Craig, did you hear any of that?
I'm not really sure, BK, what they were talking about, but you're right. Both coaches were standing at the midfield stripe discussing something with the officials, and here we go, 4th down and 7.
All right, Jason Smith has him to the line. Biggest play of the night for the Bells Panthers and the Bulldogs. Here's the quarterback throws. He's got a man. It's intercepted. And the Bulldogs bringing it back is going to be number 14 or 16. It's number 16, Matt Cavender, who caught the ball after it was tipped by one of the Bells players. And it's going to be Howe Bulldog football. And the Bulldogs are only 138 away from winning this football game. After trailing 11-0, they have scored 12 unanswered points and have only 1:38 to play before they can claim a district, well, actually a second-place finish in the district, but certainly earn themselves a playoff berth.
BK, if you can hear me, what happened on that play was the ball was thrown perfectly to Chip Smith. It just simply bounced off his hands and right into the breadbasket to Matt Cavender for the turnover. And you're exactly right. The Howe Bulldogs are just 1 minute and 38 seconds away from going into the playoffs, and their head coach is, I believe, calling a timeout right now. Yes, he is. Joey McQueen calling a timeout with 1:38 remaining to play.
All right, we'll take a timeout with them. You're listening to the KMKT Area High School Game of the Week between the Howe Bulldogs and the Bells Panthers. It's 12-11.
Bells Panthers.
John Norwood, he crosses the 40 out to the 43. Good gain of about 6 on the play. And right now, Craig, you have to take your hat off to these players who have been out here, and they've just given everything they have. And right now, the Bulldogs have the better end of it by 1 point. I was going to come down to you, but there is another timeout. As Bells takes that timeout, we'll be back in just a moment.
Congratulations.
Away, we missed one quick play, and then immediately the Bells Panthers called.
This is the operator. Can you hear me?
About a yard gain on the play, and then
hello?
On the next play,
can you hear me?
They have just run, and
hello?
The quarterback was dropped for about a 10 or 12 yard loss. So it's 4th down for the Howe Bulldogs from that point as we
Can you hear me?
play.
Hello.
Here's the kick, and we have somebody on the phone line, evidently. Bounces around inside the 20 to the 15. Justin Harris picks it up back to the 20. What a punt, though, by the Howe Bulldogs punter, Monty Walker. And that might have got him out of a situation there that Bells was hoping wouldn't happen. And that's having to drive about 80 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, give Monty Walker a lot of credit on that. After that sack put him back, the punt became even more important, and he came through with a good punt. And Justin Harris, again, you hate to say maybe he should have caught it, but maybe in that case, I think with the game at the status that it is, he should have picked that up and run it, regardless of what yards he got.
Okay, it's going to be the shotgun formation for the Bells Panthers. They have 28 seconds left to play in this football game. Pass upfield, it's going to be complete to Jason Waldrop, but out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Will stop the clock with 24 seconds to play in the football game. 12-11 is our score. The Bulldogs have the lead over the Bells Panthers. Would be a slight upset, not a major upset, but a slight upset. I think Bells was favored by something like 5 or 6 points by just about everybody that I talked to, but, what do they know?
Yeah.
At any rate, 24 seconds left to play in this football game as the Bells Panthers comes to the line of scrimmage. I don't think they have any timeouts left. They called 2 a moment ago. Here's the quarterback back to pass. Fires. He's got a man out here. It's going to be complete at the 40 and then hit hard at the 39-yard line. Coming in was Sean Stevenson. The receiver on the play was number 83, Jason Taylor. The clock runs down with 9 seconds, 8 seconds. He hit him in bounds, and they're not going to get a play off.
That's it.
The referee is not going to get a play. Yes, they do. They get the last play off. Here's Jason Smith. He runs around now, throws it as far as he can downfield. And it's going to be, just out of the reach of number 1, Wesley Miller. The Howe Bulldogs are going to the playoffs. The Bells Panthers have lost a heartbreaker, leading it 11-0 going into the fourth quarter, and the Bells Panthers, Joey McQueen and company, have pulled it off 12-11 and will be going to the playoffs. We'll be back here in just a moment with our post-game show as my home field announcer Craig Sisney will be talking, I'm sure, with Coach Joey McQueen. We hope to be able to talk sometime during our post-game show to the Bells Panther coach Gary Reeves, who has to really be down as well as all of the Bells Panther players. But it was a great football game, 12-11. The Howe Bulldogs winning it. Craig, how's it look down on the field right now, and are you close to getting Coach McQueen?
Very close, BK. In fact, I'm standing here with the winning quarterback, Wade Carson. Wade, first of all, congratulations. Your team's headed to the playoffs. How did you guys come back from down 11-0?
It takes a lot of hard work and determination. We came in at half and made some adjustments. We knew we could hit the quick outside pass on them. That's what we found. Our receiver was open. We hit him.
Tell me about the pass that scored your first touchdown to, I believe it was your receiver, Joey McMillian.
That was a 35 slides to play. Run the fullback outside. The cornerback come up and took him. So Joey's wide open, and I hit him as a touchdown.
Do you think that was what turned this game around?
Really, that was a key point in the ball game, and our defense played great defense, too.
Once again, congratulations, Wade, and I'm going to turn it over to the man that caught the first touchdown. Mr. McMillian is standing here with me. You got the ball, and you just scooted down the field. How does it feel?
Oh, that feels great. I knew if I dropped that pass, if I come on the sideline, I was dead meat. We worked hard all night long, and it just came down to who wanted it the worst.
And you're going into the playoffs, your teammates yelling behind you. Do you think you can come out with a couple of victories in the playoffs? How do you think your team looks going in?
Well, we look great right now. We're starting to, our offense is coming around. We're playing great ball. The line's going to be a tough matchup, but we ought to go a couple of games in the playoffs.
Thanks a lot from your time, Mr. McMillian. Great. Joey McQueen, congratulations on a great victory. You've got to be just ecstatic. These kids came back from down 11-0, and they win 12-11.
I'm very proud. Our kids are doing a great job, and it's just amazing to see these kids come back in that adversity, and I'm very proud of them.
Whatever you said, Coach, at halftime to your team obviously worked. They came back and scored 12 unanswered points, and they've gotten you into the playoffs. A great win, 12-11. How do you think you'll do in the playoffs?
Well, heck, we're just happy to be here right now. And we had the chance to be there, and we hope we do a great job. We're playing a great team in Salina, so we're going to be ready.
Congratulations.
If you will, Craig, put the headsets on the coach there.
Okay, Coach is going to ask you a quick question. We'll be with you in just a second, BK.
All right. Once again, Craig Sisney down on the field with the Howe Bulldog head coach, and quite a happy head coach he is, Joey McQueen. Joey, I know you've got to be very, very proud of your play of the Bulldogs, and this is something really special for you.
Yeah, it is, BK. You know, our kids, I love every one of those kids over at Bells, and they played a great game, and I was just happy that our kids came out on top. And, of course, where I'm at now, that's where I want to win, and we did it.
Coach, playing Salina next week, I know that's kind of hard to talk about right now after such an emotional victory and coming back from 11 down. Did you ever lose the confidence of the fact that you felt like you could win this ball game when they scored to go up 11-0?
Oh, you're always scared when you get down against a good team like that, but our kids just stayed after, and we came back, and they did a great job. And this bunch of kids, this has been a great year, and if this is as far as we go, I'm happy about that because they've had a good season.
Jeff Nelms of the Sherman Democrats here. I know, Jeff, you'd like to add your congratulations and maybe ask the coach something.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach. I only regret that, I don't know if you saw it, but I did pick Bells, and I'll try to take a different route out of here. But anyway, again, as we talked all week, the defense played great, and then the offense seemed to have a few penalties early go, but they seemed to turn it all around in the second half. Would you agree?
Yes, sir, and you're right. You're probably going to have a death threat call from my wife because apparently you didn't listen to Rusty.
I know. He told me that your wife can get a little upset with that, but I was trying to vary it up a little bit and pick the Bells Panthers.
Well, that's right. Well, you know, our kids did a great job, and Jeff, I appreciate all y'all's support and everything that y'all give to them.
On a great season. For Coach Joey McQueen and the Howe Bulldogs, again, congratulations are in store. You've got a tough row to hoe against G.A. Moore Salina Bobcats. That game to be played at Clark Field in Plano Saturday night at 7:30. You can hear the broadcast of that game beginning with our pregame show at about 6:30 or thereabout. Be sure to listen right here to our promos throughout the week beginning tomorrow, and you'll be able to know exactly when we will be going on the air with that broadcast, with the coach interviews and so forth. Also, unless something is changed, we will still have our area roundup show at 6:30. That may or may not be changed with myself along with Jeff Nelms and Rusty Hall of the Sherman Democrat. We'll be talking about the playoff picture, who's playing who, where, and what, and all that good stuff. So be sure to pick yourself up a copy of the Sherman Democrat, if I can talk plain enough here for you to understand it. But anyway, they will have that in the Sherman Democrat sometime this week as far as everything that we will be doing sports-wise. And before I sign off, I would like to congratulate the Sherman Bearcats. They'll be playing an